What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Hockey Podcast Network's Watchalong featuring the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks. My name's Isha Jerome alongside my good pal Dylan, and we will be your co-hosts riding shotgun, sitting back, watching this game with you tonight here on the Hockey Podcast Network's YouTube channel. Dylan, how are you, buddy?
Man, it's the home opener. I'm pumped. I'm pumped for the Vancouver Canucks tonight. Should be a good game. Minnesota Wild. You cover the Minnesota Wild on the Soda Pod. You must be pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, their last outing was not very good against the Nashville Predators. Both teams were coming off of back-to-backs, so I can't really use that excuse that the Wild were tired because Nashville was tired as well. So from a Wild perspective, they're looking for a comeback tonight against the Vancouver Canucks and looking to spoil the home opener for the Vancouver Canucks because, Dylan, what's funny about the Canucks is, they started this season on the road. So they've been part of other home openers, which is, I'd imagine, is pretty hard for a team, especially on the road.
Yeah, I mean, it is tough, but it is Vancouver, right? That's a team that's used to being on the road a lot. And it has been a tough start to the season, though. I mean, the Canucks haven't looked great. A lot of key players haven't looked too good. So hopefully we can turn that around. Maybe that happens tonight against a team like the Minnesota Wild. They had a pretty good outing against the Seattle Kraken the other night as well. So I don't know. I think it's just a slow start for this team.
Ooh, the Seattle Kraken.
Oh, a big scary Kraken.
Big scary Kraken. Credit to just like the in-house arena and entertainment, though. That was insane. And we were watching it on TV, and that was insane. Like, imagine being at the Climate Pledge Arena, which, by the way, no paper, no waste at Climate Pledge Arena. Everything there is recyclable. You can't even get a paper ticket. You got to come in on your phone. So, no, big shout out to just opening night there. They what's funny is they didn't even open their night like they're officially like the entertainment part of it with Kraken hockey. They did with a Coldplay concert. So there you go.
Love it. Love it. No, it was a cool thing to see. I mean, it's not very often you get to see a new franchise being inducted into the NHL. So, it was quite the scene. Not going to forget it. Not quite as big, I guess, as Vegas's intro, but I mean, that's to be expected. But great job so far by the Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got a lot going on tonight. We're going to continue to just talk here and preview these two teams in this pregame segment. As soon as the game starts, I mean, we're going to sit back, watch the game with you, comment on the game, and read your comments and bring them up here on the YouTube chat as well. So, I mean, we're sitting here having a conversation, watching this game together. We want to hear what you have to say. Like Curtis right now says, Van City to win. Yeah, that's right. Come in our YouTube. Come check us out in our YouTube chat right now. Tell us who you.
Curtis, I agree. By the way, I agree.
Tell us who you think is going to win, and if you're on Twitter, there's a link to a poll question which we're going to have running throughout this entire stream as well, and I'll get to that momentarily and in various parts of the show. But like I said, we're going to keep talking here in the pregame portion of it, and again, comments, interaction with you folks, that's what drives the show. So don't be afraid to let us know what you think about this game, or let us know what you think about us. And
I don't know about that last part, but all right.
During intermission, we'll bring some of our thoughts on what's been going on in the game. We'll bring some takeaways from each period, and again, talk about whatever's going on in the league. I know there's been some juicy topics in the NHL. No shortage of news, and again, comment-driven show here. We're totally interactive. Whatever you folks want us to talk about, whatever you want to talk about with us, we are more than happy to do so. And then, yeah. Pretty much that's how this is going to go, Dylan. We're just going to sit back, watch this game with these fine viewers here on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Me kind of looking at this game from a Wild perspective, you looking at this game kind of through a Vancouver Canucks lens. And yeah, we're going to be live here hanging out for 3+ hours. So get cozy, ladies and gentlemen.
Isha, I'm kind of disappointed, man. I mean, I don't see anything Minnesota Wild. I mean, you see the green light there in the background, but like, where's the Minnesota Wild stuff?
I'm glad you brought that up. Check us out on Twitter. It's actually under my account at VI Sports Talk. The link is in the YouTube chat, and get in on our poll question. The poll question tonight here on this unique THPN Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks live stream is, what is the better jersey? The Minnesota Wild reverse retro
I like it. The Subway jersey.
Subway jersey, ode to the North Stars. Hoppy, my co-host on the Soda Pod, says it's the McDonald's jersey, or the Vancouver Millionaires.
I like it. I like it.
That's a tough one, and I know that one's kind of out of left field. People are like, "Why did you choose these ones?" Well, the ones we own. Okay, that's why we're doing it, and it's it's a Minnesota Vancouver live stream. We got 2 unique Minnesota Vancouver jerseys. We're rolling with it.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of Canucks jerseys, and a few Minnesota Wild jerseys, but like as far as out there, those are the ones you go for. And I do like the Millionaires look. Lots of people don't agree with it, but I do like the Vancouver Millionaires. And then the Minnesota Wild, that I mean, it's a Subway jersey. Who's called it a McDonald's jersey? Those aren't the McDonald's colors. That's Subway all the way.
I tend to agree. Just like how the Vancouver's reverse retro was or is Sprite.
Right. No, absolutely. But who were they calling the Minnesota Wild jersey the McDonald's jersey? I just don't see the connection there.
Hoppy made some sort of connection.
Okay, that guy must have been a few drinks deep.
Yeah. Hey, we're getting some conversation now in the chat. I love it. Caleb says, "Go Nucks, don't like the Wild." Okay, well, fair enough. Fair enough. And Shane Van Ice, my friend Shane, says, "Hey guys, how's it going, Shane? Thanks for joining us here." Caleb, again, need you guys to help my Stars out. Ooh,
we can't help ourselves, Caleb. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna do that. There, my apologies.
Thank you for joining, though.
Yeah, and again, totally interactive. So going into this game, Dylan, let's talk about the Vancouver Canucks for a little bit. What have you liked from them thus far? What have you not liked from them thus far?
Well, so far, special teams is one of the areas where the Canucks are struggling. And I mean, I don't like criticizing a team on special teams this early in the season. I think that's one of those things that'll come, let's say 15, 20 games into the season. You can really expect that to be clicking. So that's one part of their game that I expect them to improve on. Face-offs, they haven't been too good on face-offs, especially in the defensive zone. They're missing, Brandon Sutter right now, and he's not a top guy anymore. He's only getting paid $1 million, but what he does bring to the table is face-offs. So we're missing that part of the game. Bo Horvat hasn't been amazing in the face-off dot. And then another part of the game that we're really missing right now is Elias Pettersson. I mean, he hasn't been playing terribly, but just nothing is going the right way for him. The bounces aren't going his way. I do expect that to change, hopefully in the next few games for Elias Pettersson, because this guy, I mean, he's a superstar in this league. You can only expect it to change for him. So that's one area where the Canucks are kind of just almost patiently waiting for that to change, because there's not much you can do. He's getting shots on net. The one goal that he does have this season was extremely lucky. He was off the backboard. So then off, what was it? Carter Hart, I believe. Super lucky goal. You need those every once in a while, but hopefully Elias Pettersson can get it going. The things that I've liked from this team, though, the depth players. I don't know if you can call Connor Garland a depth player, but a new addition to the team, and he's been great. I mean, over point a game so far. Another addition in that Arizona trade, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. That guy's been a stud so far for the Canucks on the back end. And the depth players just overall, the Jason Dickinsons, the young guys, the Hoglanders, those have really been the stars so far for this team. So once, Elias Pettersson gets going, once Quinn Hughes gets going, then I think this team is going to go to another level.
No, well said. Well said. Caleb, has a lot to say. So let's get to his comments before I touch a little bit here on the Wild. He says, "True, gosh, Stars just need to start putting it in the net, and that'll get us going." I mean, hey, that's the nature of the game. Stars really have struggled. But I'm also a Nucks fan, and it would help in the standings having the Wild lose. Well, okay, you've made it clear, Caleb. I know what side you're on. That's okay. But
you know what side I'm on, Caleb.
Well, that's interesting, because I wouldn't expect Stars fans to really like the Wild either. They stole the Wild's team. But anyways.
True.
Which is why, again, the reverse retro, I don't know why they didn't go full reverse retro and just bring back the North Stars. They had to go this hybrid like you said, Subway style.
Well, would that make a lot of people angry in Minnesota? I feel like it would. Like,
no, I don't think so, okay, Dylan. Okay. And this is why, because everyone our age, those like, mid-20s, mid-30s, like they didn't grow up with the North Stars. They didn't have a team in their childhood, so
Yeah.
a lot of those people, much like, again, Hoppy, my co-host on the Soda Pod, he, fell in love with Pittsburgh. He liked watching Tampa Bay, and then like obviously rooted for the Wild when they, became an expansion team and were in Minnesota. So I think maybe the old timers are still a little salty, but I think for the most part, like, I think just everyone our age anyways would love that. It's kind of like here in Vancouver, like I would love to see any, iteration of the Grizzlies. Mind you, don't use the Vancouver, literally Vancouver and Memphis there. I didn't mind you bringing those back. Respect.
Yeah,
might even buy one,
sense.
but you put Vancouver on, I have a problem. But anyways.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. I mean, I think overall the league killed it with the reverse retros. The reason I brought it up, the Colorado Avalanche did the whole Nordiques throwback, and a lot of people got pissed at that one, right? So that's why I was kind of questioning whether or not the North Stars owed would get a negative reaction out of the Minnesota market.
I got a little pissed about that, actually. I mean, I think they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like that's not your team. You took the team.
All right, we got some more comments coming in here, Isha.
Awesome. Let's hit them. Josh. So Isha, Vancouver, Minnesota tonight. Well, Josh, as you told everyone on the Hockey Podcast Network Slack there, it's Dylan and Isha going head to head tonight. So I'm 100% going Minnesota tonight. Though it's kind of a win-win because if Vancouver wins, as a fan at heart, I'm happy. Minnesota wins, well, that's the team I cover. Oh my, we were Dallas Stars before. But then Texas North Stars. Okay, Caleb. And then the Minnesota then back. Yeah, it's been quite the ride. I may be mistaken though. Keep them coming, Caleb. Love it. Please keep them coming. I love the last comment there. We won't bring it up, but
yeah,
I've had some of those days too, my friend.
Absolutely.
Minnesota, though they've started off strong, Dylan, they've had some easy competition with the California teams out of the gate, and they've only won by 1 goal. Now they're getting scoring up and down the roster, which is amazing. I think the third line of Brandon Duhaime, Foligno, and Hartman is amazing. One of the best third/fourth line shutdown lines with some talent and some grit. Probably like bar none, one of the best in the league right now. I mean, you got Foligno who's just running wild, throwing Superman punches out there. He's I think he's fought like at least 2 or 3 times already this season. Brandon Duhaime, who's the only true rookie that the Wild have brought up on their roster after camp. He's an amazing power forward 2-way guy. Got rewarded with a goal off his butt the other night, like our boy Ngoon. So, I mean, he knows his role. He's playing it to a T, and that line's been unbelievable. But much like the Vancouver Canucks, it's been the likes of Kaprizov. It's been the likes of Fiala. Now, Dylan, you know how much of a Kevin Fiala fan I am. I think he's one of the most talented players in the entire National Hockey League. He just does not have the line mates to help him out, and he can't do anything. That's just what it comes down to with him. Opposite to that, Matt Zuccarello and Kaprizov, they're getting too fancy out there. They're moving the puck, passing way too much, trying to make that fancy play. Though when Zuccarello has a shot, when Kaprizov has a shot, and we know Kaprizov has a shot, unlike Zuccarello's is okay, but they're playing pass first right now, and Eriksson Ek centering that line, and he doesn't really know what to do. He's like, do I play my shutdown Eriksson Ek role, or do I join in this madness over here? They got to start shooting the puck, and that's what happened in Nashville. They didn't shoot the puck in the first period, and that's why they went down. Well, one of the reasons why they went down. They also took a lot of penalties. 3-0 early, and then they did score 2 goals in that game and actually outshot the Nashville Predators in the end because they stepped on the gas and actually put the puck on net.
So looking at the stats here, Kaprizov is at 0 goals, 5 assists on the season so far.
So the points are there.
The points are there. Are Minnesota fans concerned though about the lack of goals? Because I mean, that's really Kaprizov's game.
Again, Minnesota fans are split old timers, and then us, I feel like. So the old timers, I feel like, yes, but the young ones just still swoon over the guy, so he can do no wrong yet.
I just need to address the comments. Caleb, okay, promise not bugging you. Buddy, you're not bugging us. Keep commenting throughout the whole stream.
Yeah, we may not get to like everyone right away, but there'll be lulls for sure. There'll be commercial breaks, both on our end, but obviously in the game, and we will 100% get to every single one of your comments, within reason here, Caleb.
Within reason. I
Yeah.
see Cheech is back, play-by-play for the Vancouver Canucks.
Oh, I absolutely love it.
Broadcast just starting here.
All right, here we go. Though I love, I mean, the ESPN broadcast for the Wild, it wasn't that great. Bally Sports usually does a great job. You know, Wes Walls is a friend of the Soda Pod. He's not a friend of Vancouver Canucks. He made that very clear when he came on our show. And Anthony LePant is awesome as well. So shout out to them. But
yeah,
nothing compares to our boys in Vancouver.
Well, I'm just gonna say, like, if you want someone to broadcast a hockey game, get a Canadian to do it. I mean, you just watch, TSN Sportsnet. They just have it down, and ESPN, they're gonna get it. But, watching some of the footage, some of the angles, some of the different clips that they were doing it, you could tell that there's some rust there. It's not completely sharp, and they have to work on some things, and it's just not quite to the level, in my personal opinion, to what we get in Canada on Sportsnet and Hockey Night in Canada and that whole production.
Absolutely. Again, we have a ton of new viewers just joining us now in our chat link. Scroll up to the top there and check me out on Twitter at VI Sports Talk. We have a poll question we're running throughout this entire stream tonight. We want everyone to get involved. It's a wacky one, but hey, we're covering Vancouver, Minnesota head to head. So what is the better jersey? The Vancouver Millionaires. It's beautiful. We know. Or the Minnesota Wild reverse retro. Again, at VI Sports Talk.
All right, so
in the poll question.
Here's the thing. I feel like the votes are going to be a little tilted in your direction because you're a Minnesota Wild podcaster. So I'm looking at the results right now. Early results, folks. The Vancouver Millionaires at 45% and the Wild reverse retro at 55%. So early numbers.
Well, my Twitter account, in fairness, and this is why I did it from that one, is kind of split. Like I'd say all my 1,400 followers are split Minnesota, Vancouver.
Oh man, the Canucks opening ceremony starting. I don't know who it is, but they got some dude playing a guitar in the middle of the ice.
The flying V.
Yeah.
Okay, Dylan, as the national anthem is going on right now, we have to tell our quick national anthem story. We have to do it.
Oh God.
So, we'll give the.
I know. I don't even know how to start the story, so that's my problem.
Okay, here. WLA, Western Lacrosse Association. Again, everyone from the West Coast watching right now. Shane says the Millionaires. Go vote, Shane. Thank you very much. Caleb, Millionaires. You're a Canucks fan. You hate the Wild. I get it. Thank you for voting. We went to our WLA game. So the Victoria Shamrocks. I think they're playing Burnaby actually, and we had like in the movie Goon when they're kind of making fun of the like small town national anthem singer, and they're just always an absolute disgrace. We had it in the flesh. That was a local local Victoria, Vancouver Island band, and they went out there.
Even worse, it was a Langford band.
Oh, even worse. Tearaway denim sleeves, no shoes on, hippie as hell. One plugs his acoustic guitar.
Bare feet, folks.
One plugs his acoustic guitar into an amp. The other one's on like a keyboard, and he just starts singing the "Oh Canada," but not singing it, like belting out like 80s hair metal style.
Yeah,
it was atrocious, but Dylan and I, who naturally had a couple drinky poos before the game, we could not withhold our laughter. And we thought, oh, there's so many old timers around us here. Like, honestly, it might have been like Veterans Night or something too. So like there was a lot of veterans in the crowd, or if that's just typical Langford, I don't know. But anyways, we thought we were so embarrassed. We're like covering our face, like, oh my God, everyone's going to think like we're assholes here. And then when they're done after whatever the hell he ended the "Oh Canada" with, that old guy in front of us who we were like trying to withhold our laughter looks at us, absolute disgrace. And we were like, okay, it's okay to laugh now.
Well, for a split second, I didn't know if he meant like me laughing at the anthem or them singing. But after a few seconds, I was like, okay, it was so bad, it had to be those guys. It was one of those moments where I just like quite literally, no matter what I did, I could not control my laughter. It was over.
Yeah, I locked eyes with him. We knew exactly what we were talking about. Again, thanks to everyone who's just tuning into our THPN Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks watch along here. We're going to be with you for the next 3.5, probably 3.5+ hours here. Just wrapping up the pregame show as the Vancouver Canucks players are introduced on home ice. Glad to see Quinn Hughes back as he just skated there. This seems like an intense intro. Got the guitar playing.
Well, it's the home opener for the Vancouver Canucks. It better be pretty intense.
And the first time a full crowd is back in Rogers Arena in how many days, man? 500 days?
You know what I can't wait for? And we've been waiting so long for this. A goal in Rogers Arena with all the fans there. Just, hearing the fans cheer for that first goal is going to be incredible.
Yeah, again, I watched the Minnesota Wild home opener, and it was surreal. Hoppy and a lot of our friend Brett Marshall on Twitter, actually the whole crew from Sound the Foghorn, Jesse Pierce, like the whole Minnesota Wild Twitter crew were there, and it was an unbelievable night from what I heard. Hoppy has a hilarious story about it. Go check us out at the Soda Pod. But again, for those who are just joining us, we'd love it if you stay with us throughout this live stream. Hang back, crack a cold one, watch this game with us. We're totally interactive, so please jump in the comment section. You're driving the bus here. This is us hanging out with you. Support us at the Hockey Podcast Network if you're a fan of any hockey podcast. We have podcasts covering every team in the National Hockey League. And a big shout out to our sponsor, DraftKings, a leader in daily fantasy and sportsbook. Use promo code THPN upon sign up for a bonus. And if you're a regular user, plug that promo code in for a weekly deal. So once this Vancouver Canucks opening ceremony and the national anthems are through, puck drop will officially start. Dylan and I will bring a scoreboard up here. So for anyone who's wants to tune in and out, we'll definitely keep you abreast of what is going on. And throughout the actual game, we're going to be commenting on the game, of course, as we're here watching it with you. But we also want to talk about any topics you addressed in the chat, NHL, Minnesota Wild, or Vancouver Canucks related. If anything of note does happen in the game, we will probably just jump to that and comment on that quickly. And then an intermission, if you want to join us, we'll just be bringing up some of our personal takeaways from a Minnesota Wild and Vancouver Canucks perspective. I think I covered it all, Dylan, eh? That's the show.
You nailed it. I think you nailed it. I just have a comment here. I think you're going to like this one from Caleb saying, big reason why I like the Nucks was Louis Eriksson and Jordy Ben. Big Louis Eriksson fans over here.
Hey, Jordy Ben now with the Minnesota Wild, and he's not as popular in Minnesota. Let's just say Jordy Ben, he's looking a little slower than he did in Vancouver. Shane says, I'm cracking a Coors when the puck drops. Shane, cheers to you. Cheers to you. Nice, Shane. I know this isn't the Soda Pod, but shout out Vancouver Island. Shout out Nanaimo. Longwood Brewing and White Sails collaboration. That's what I'm drinking tonight here. So shout out local breweries. It's been unbelievable, Dylan, that local breweries have been able to not only survive, but thrive during this COVID-19 pandemic. So shout out, drink local, all the craft breweries here on Vancouver. And I was going to say BC-wide, but also Minnesota, because funny enough, British Columbia and Minnesota, very similar culture, though there's kind of a weird rivalry with their hockey teams due to the early 2000s. And it's crazy that they're both just meccas of beer in North America. So cheers to everybody.
And both love hockey. So there you go. Just again, seeing John Garrett with that,
I was just gonna
silver hair back on the broadcast.
It's beautiful.
Folks, that's a beautiful thing to say. To see. It's really amazing.
Man, I feel like just 2 years ago he was going, full Just for Men.
Yeah.
And then
the full Jim Benning with the
black hair. And then just now he's letting it fly. I love these two, man. It's going to be, I don't even want to think about the day that we don't have them, through, I was going to say the airwaves, but
I mean, this whole generation, once these guys start to retire, I mean, I don't know if every generation says this, but I don't know if we have the same characters coming up that are in the game.
We
right
don't.
Now.
We don't.
Yeah, I know.
Right now, we don't.
It's a little bit scary, and these guys, John Garrett, maybe he's not I don't know, necessarily the most polished color guy. Maybe he says some things that don't hit all the time, but he's quirky. He's different. He brings a different element to the game. And he was also a goaltender in the NHL. So he has that perspective as well. And then John Shorthouse, well, what can you say about John Shorthouse? That guy's a legend.
Dude, and it's funny because a lot of people outside of the Vancouver Canucks market, I don't think know him as much as a Jim Houston, who did a lot of Hockey Night in Canada, who would do Did he do Olympic? I'm sure Jim Houston's done like Olympics coverage and things like just
He's done it all. Yeah.
Stanley Cup finals and things like that. Whereas Shorty's done a few Stanley Cups, but for the most part, he's their call up guy. You know, when someone gets injured, when someone's vocal cords, you know, they have a couple.
Well, I mean, Jim Houston
have a couple too many drinky poos in Sochi.
Yeah, well, and also Jim Houston. I mean, everyone recognizes him for the great save calls, right? Great save, Luongo, and great save, Kluche. I don't know why that one always sticks in my head. Probably because I was younger when that whole era was going on. But
Kluche gets a bad rap. I feel like overall, he was a great goalie.
He was I won't say great. He was a good goalie. He was like, I don't know. He was a starting goaltender, not necessarily a top 10 goalie in the league, but a guy that you could put in there. And if you have a good defense, you should be all right. And that was one of the problems, with that team was the defense wasn't great, in my opinion. It also wasn't the deepest team, in my opinion, other than the West Coast Express. So there you go.
What an era the Vancouver Canucks had back to back, right? Like the last 20 years for before, I shouldn't say that, not the last 20 years.
The last 30 minus the last 10. There you go.
Before Desjardins joined the Vancouver Canucks, or should I say John Tortorella?
Yeah. Okay.
That was an incredible 20 years because it went back to back from like the West Coast Express, which was one of the most dominant teams in the West, to like a 2-year lull, and then boom, the Sedin and Kessler's team, right?
No, absolutely. It was a great time to grow up, for us being Canucks fans, because you're right. Like there was only really 3-4 seasons maybe between the ages of 8 and 18 where we weren't a playoff team. So it was a great team to watch.
What's a commonality, something similar between the Wild and the Vancouver Canucks? Chicago has destroyed both of the fan base's dreams, and I would say that they probably equally hate Colorado too. So there you go.
No, there you go. Well, you know what? But for the Vancouver Canucks, I feel like at the end of the day, the Canucks got the last laugh out of that whole rivalry. So I don't know if there's that much hatred anymore. Do you think there is?
Between Minnesota and Vancouver?
No, between Vancouver and Chicago.
Oh, I don't think Vancouver got the last laugh, dude. Chicago got 2 cups.
Well, they got 2 cups. Yeah. Yeah, okay, but they got 2 cups, but Vancouver got past them to get to the Stanley Cup Finals, right? And then
maybe it's even then.
Right? And then they didn't really have to deal with them afterwards. The puck drop
ceremonial face-off,
with Bo Horvat and Spurgeon.
2 great Canadians who actually might get a call for an Olympic camp, but I don't think are realistic, selections.
Yeah, which says a lot about the team when a guy like Bo Horvat can't even make the cut.
Hey, Jared Spurgeon too. He's a hell of a defenseman.
I don't know who this anthem singer is, but man, those sunglasses.
That's Tej.
Jagbrit Bajwa, I believe his name is. Great hair, great sunglasses. I got the volume quite low in the background, but I can imagine great singing voice too. The Vancouver Canucks just nailing this opening ceremony.
This is unreal. Yeah. A great opening ceremony. The Wild, they don't wear the reverse retro.
Oh, there's perfect. A North Star jersey in the stands there.
Really? Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
That's
an amazing jersey. An unbelievable jersey.
Look at this anthem singer, folks. My God, this guy is
I got to turn up the volume for a little bit here.
Yeah.
I have to.
This man is not going home alone tonight. I'll tell you that right now for free.
Oh, say, does that star Man, I have to say, I'm Canadian. I love our national anthem. It's quirky. It's Canadian.
Sean Cosgrove, is he blind? Should we feel bad for making fun of him? I am not making fun of him. He legitimately looks good right now.
Yeah, he's got swagger.
Guy's styling.
Yeah, come on now.
Come
on now. But my comment was, and thanks for joining us, Sean. Really appreciate it. Was that I love our national anthem. But for sports, it doesn't get you pumped like the Star Spangled Banner. The end of the Star Spangled Banner. I'm just and I guess I'm half and half, but I'm born and raised Canada. I'm Canadian. It just gets me pumped, right? it gets me pumped for any game. I don't care who's playing. Like, I would just play that even if before I went for a run. Sometimes gets me just going.
You would play that before going for a run.
Oh hell,
you're gonna tell me that right now,
dude. Yeah, Jimi Hendrix playing it just with his guitar. It just got me pumped.
And also too, I mean, like, let's be honest. Is this guy's not as styling as the guys?
See, this is okay. So this is my example in the flesh, right?
Yeah.
You love this guy. He's probably amazing.
He's probably beauty.
It's just Canadian, right?
Yeah,
This is Canada.
Yeah.
But what we just saw before, that was America. This is getting off to an unbelievable start, and the puck hasn't even dropped yet, Dylan.
Yeah. Wow. Incredible. That's all I could say.
Oh wow. Again, thanks to everyone joining us. Check us out in the chat. The comments are driving the show here. Once the puck drops, we'll bring up the scoreboard and we'll talk a little bit about what goes on within the game, any of like the big points, the big goals, the big plays. But tell us what you want us to talk about, especially in intermission. Dylan and I will put forth some of our takeaways. But if you guys fill it up with comments and drive the bus, we will give the keys to you. The keys to the castle, as Hoppy would love for me to say.
Sean with another comment here. Our anthem has rockets and bombs. It's legit.
Yeah, ours has to get changed because of political correctness.
Okay.
Anyways. Oh, Canada, baby. Woo!
So it sounds like the crowd is basically singing the entire anthem. I will say though, the guy came out with the first few notes and he has some pipes on him. Pipes on him.
He looks like he's got some pipes.
Well, it's like you come out, just dressed real simple like that. You better have pipes.
That's a boss move. Oh no, he's got the passion. I'm watching him right now, holding up the mic.
Well, he's doing the Mark Donnelly, right? And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Boy, he went downhill quick.
Oh yeah, I guess I kind of forgot about the whole ending of that. But I'm thinking about the good times, folks. Thinking about the good times here.
Him tripping on the carpet in Penticton. Right, that was at the V's game, right? Yeah,
I know. But one of those things, though, like go back and watch Mark Donnelly tripping on the carpet. The dedication. The man was falling and still singing. What can I say? He didn't stop singing.
Attaboy.
I think he's a bit of a kook, though, isn't he? I don't know.
Oh, he's a kook. He was like helping to lead like anti-vax and COVID's not a thing and all that stuff. And again,
there's stuff before that too, not to do with COVID. I think.
No, I'm just saying. I was gonna say we don't judge here. We're here to talk hockey. That's Mark Donnelly.
All right, we got a random fact here coming from Shane Van Ice.
Okay,
Shane. I don't know if you want to read that one.
Yeah, I'm getting my glasses together. Sean's commenting too. Shane said, I learned today that the most southern part of Ontario is farther south than the most north part of California. Hey, there you go. And I'm going to say this, Minnesota, it's more Canadian than Ontario. And I don't know if Minnesotans are offended or if they take that as a compliment, but Dylan, I would say take that as a compliment.
Before you get to this next one, I believe that was I just glanced. I think it was Bonnie Henry with the siren at the opening.
Okay, our health minister
of
BC's
British
health
Columbia.
Minister. Yeah.
So there you go. And again, we didn't really mention this either, but full crowd at Rogers Arena for this opening game. So that's pretty incredible.
Incredible indeed. Puck is about to start. Cam Talbot is in net, and he's played pretty good thus far. If you look, he's got a 4-0 record to start the season. But Dylan and Vancouver Canucks fans watching and Minnesotan fans alike, rebounds has been his issue thus far. And maybe just early in the season, I know he didn't play much preseason, so maybe just shaking off the cobwebs there. But just keep that in mind. Keep that on the radar. That's something that early on I've noticed against, again, not the greatest teams in California. It's been pretty sloppy on the rebounds, and it's either been lucky where the puck will hit the defenseman, his own defenseman, and the play will resume, or it's a dead giveaway. And we're off now, boys. Let's go.
Looks like the game has started. Bo Horvat with Tanner Pearson. We've seen that a lot. Quinn Hughes and Oliver Ekman-Larsson, it looks like, on the back end for the Vancouver Canucks. I kind of like it. Some say that's a bit of a risky pairing, OEL
bang, bang.
and Hughes, but I like it. There's a lot of mobility there. They can move the puck. I know. I think that's a great pairing for the Canucks.
Yeah, I like that too. Dean Evison, he's strict in his ways, not making many line changes as well. Again, Vancouver Canucks fans watching, keep an eye out for Brandon Duhaime. He won't get too many minutes, but that, again, they cycle through four lines quite a bit here in Minnesota, especially because the third line actually has some scoring prowess. Now, Jordan Greenway was kind of a top prospect, a level prospect coming into the Wild system. He had a long talk today with, according to Michael Russo, with Dean Evison, aka Creed Bratton. He hasn't been playing that well, and honestly, Duhaime may be the reason that he gets traded. Now, I think he's a good player, but power forward who's not demonstrating all the skill that the Wild want for him.
Vasily Podkolzin with a nice rush and a nice attempt there. I was mistaken. OEL is not playing with Hughes. I believe that was Tucker Poolman.
Okay, I like that too. I don't mind that.
I don't mind that at all. I just really like Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I mean, I know a lot of people were judging him in Arizona, but I feel like he stepped in and he's been contributing to this Canucks team. He looks like a pretty steady guy so far. So yeah, I'm happy with that trade.
Podkolzin, JT Miller, Brock Besser. That's an interesting line right there. I haven't seen that much.
That is an interesting line, and that's not necessarily an easy line to play against. Podkolzin and JT Miller have kind of, bit more hard-nosed players, I guess you could say, and Brock Besser can clean up with the great shot, so I do like that.
So what are your thoughts on Podkolzin thus far? I know he was scratched the other night, if I'm not mistaken.
He's been scratched for 2 straight games. Looks like he's, playing in this game, obviously. Early thoughts, I think he's looked good. I think it's, he's a rookie. It's going to take a while, and he's not going to be one of those rookies like Kaprizov or like a Quinn Hughes that steps in and gets points right away. But I think this guy, looking at him, I feel like we could have a solid 50-point guy. I don't necessarily think he has the highest ceiling in the world, but I feel like, the baseline for this guy is at least a 30-40 point guy that can maybe be a bit more physical and can, contribute in different areas like the forecheck.
Hey, I like that. Sean Cosgrove. Yes, I should say, Rem Pitlick in for Victor Rask today. Very excited to see what this young player, this college phenom, can do. I mean, he's bounced around a lot. His draft pick, the draft pick in which the team selected him bounced around a lot. If you check out on the SodaPods feed, Judd's Buds episode number 4, he tells a story about how actually Rem Pitlick, that 4th round pick was in a trade that included Jaromir Jagr and some other NHL players after. So go check that out. Early thoughts on the game here. It's kind of just stalemate going back and forth. I don't think really either team has been threatened much yet, Dylan?
It's stalemate, but there's speed to it though. Both teams are buzzing around. Something that's interesting for both the Vancouver Canucks and the Minnesota Wild is lately in the past year or two, they've both gotten faster. They've gotten rid of some older players, some slower guys, and naturally that makes your team quicker. So it makes for some interesting Canucks and Wild games.
Yeah, and looks like a Wild player got a little. Was he blocking the shot? Oh yeah, Matt Dumba had a snipe of a shot, and who got in front of that, Dylan? One of the Wild players got in front of that. I
can't tell.
Looks he's still on the ice. So
yeah, no, he's down. That's a hard one.
Took a puck to the balls, Shane says.
Love
That's
it.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I mean, Matt Dumba, a player who it's funny in Vancouver media is always in the offseason somehow linked to Vancouver. Like a Matt Dumba is going to be traded for Brock Besser. That seems to be
Isha, I just want to say here, Sean Cosgrove's a hockey guy when he says things like right in the twig and berries.
Oh, dude, Sean Cosgrove is one of my favorite people.
I love
honestly.
That. Yeah.
Always hops on any of our SodaPod live stuff and is a huge supporter of us there. So I appreciate Sean joining us. I appreciate all of Sean's facts. I appreciate even his minor dunks on me there as well. Hopefully Sturm is okay. Hopefully no broken bones there. Again, talking about that 4th line, Dylan, Nico Sturm has been an absolute beast. The German who took the NCAA route to the NHL. Sarcastic remarks, our friends at the Hockey Podcast Network. Go check them out. Matt Dumba, overrated or underrated? Matt Dumba is exactly in the middle. And he always will be. He will never reach his ceiling and he will never bottom out. He's just always going to be Matt Dumba. You're always going to want a little bit more, but every night you're always going to be like, the guy shoots the puck so much I can't be upset with him. That's my take on Matt Dumba.
Yeah, I feel like some people want him to be like a 60-point defenseman when he's just not. But I don't feel he's a good defenseman. He's a top 4 guy, so I agree with you. I don't think he's really overrated or underrated. I guess it depends which market you're looking at.
So pay attention to our stat sheet and everything here, folks, because if you're watching this game on Sportsnet anyways, and those in Minnesota, I don't know if you're watching on ESPN or Bally. Admittedly, I just have it on the Canucks feed here. It still says it's a 0-0 shot game, but I literally just saw a shot on net. So
there you go.
So there you go, Sportsnet. And oh yeah, by the way, Dylan, are you a fan of the new Sportsnet just what do you call it, scorecard? I kind of like it. It's clean.
No, like the clock, the score.
Yeah.
No, I do like it. It is very clean and simple.
Hard to read. I'll give it that.
Hard to read. I don't think so. I think it's pretty clean and simple.
I do have to wear glasses, so maybe that's just me.
Yeah, you just have bad eyes.
Yep.
There's some, I know we rip on like American broadcasts sometimes. Some of them don't show. Yeah, sometimes they don't show the scores throughout the whole thing, which is kind of bugs me. It really does. Like, especially if you're coming in and out for whatever reason into a game, and you come in and you don't know the score of the game and you don't know the context of what's going on.
Dylan, Bally puts the score on the bottom left corner. It makes no sense. Sometimes you miss the puck.
Yeah, that's brutal. Brutal.
That's brutal.
Yeah, because you look at where the scorecard is now. We're just going to call it a scorecard. It's in the fans. It's not blocking any sort of play. When it's in the bottom left corner, that's just rough.
Yeah. Oh, and do we have a penalty now? Yes, we do on Vancouver.
Looks like Vancouver has a penalty here. Dickinson.
Tripping call, if I'm not mistaken.
Tripping call on.
To be perfectly
Burrows.
honest,
I believe this is Burrows.
Okay.
34. Yes.
Honestly, that was a little hockey shove there. I'll take it because I'm kind of watching this through a wild perspective. They'll take it, but I think that one was just a little shove there. I don't know. Sean can help clear us out, clear things up there since he's the Wild fan.
Sarcastic remarks saying, "I freaking hate it," referring to Bally Sports.
Yeah. Okay. Caleb says, "Oof, the former star." He's been good for you. Yeah, no, he has been good. He has been good. So the Wild's first power play of the game. Their power play looked okay against the Nashville Predators. The Minnesota Wild's penalty kill, though, did not look good at all. So their special teams has been okay. Nothing special here. And let's see how they face against the Vancouver Canucks tonight. At the end of the day, Fiala, Kaprizov, Zuccarello, they have to start shooting the puck more. That's really what is gonna help the Wild here, because everyone else is kind of doing their job. Those guys need to just step up a little bit.
And from a Canucks perspective, as far as the penalty kill goes, I mentioned him already once in the stream, but Brandon Sutter, the Canucks are missing this guy because their penalty kill hasn't been that great this year. And one of the only reasons why Brandon Sutter is a Vancouver Canuck, one of the only reasons they brought him back was the penalty kill and defensive zone faceoffs, right? And those are two areas where the team's struggling right now. So I think once Brandon Sutter comes back, I feel like the team's going to get quite a boost on the penalty kill. Maybe not necessarily everywhere else on the roster when you're talking about a Brandon Sutter, but that's one area where he really does make an impact. A couple other players that, the Vancouver Canucks lost this offseason, Jay Beagle was another guy that was
my
really
man.
Good. Your man, Jay Beagle, on the penalty kill. He was a top guy for them. So, two of those veteran guys out of the lineup right now for the Canucks, and you're seeing it on the stat sheet. They're not the best PKing team in the league right now.
No, I mean, and the same goes for the Wild. Though on the power play, they had some decent chances on that last rush there, applied a little bit of pressure. The Wild play really good in the neutral zone. They usually win battles in the neutral zone. They're really good at regaining possession in the neutral zone. And we saw that there, though, of course, they have an extra man on the ice on the power play, but they're able to kind of recuperate and make sure that no, you're not even going to get a chance to dump this in any further. We're just going to kind of take it from here. So the Wild are a solid team. Our friend Jerem on the Windy City Benders podcast covering the Chicago Blackhawks on the Hockey Podcast Network, he always calls them the Minnesota Mild. And sure, maybe they're not extremely exciting, but you play good, solid hockey. And I'm not even saying shutdown hockey, just kind of everything right. And hey, you got a chance at a Stanley Cup. So that's all I'm going to say there.
There you go.
By the
There
way,
you
thanks
go.
for these cookies here, Dylan.
They're good, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to Save On Foods, the white chocolate macadamia nut cookies. There you go.
Love it.
There you go, folks. No free ads. Save On. Oh, and a goal here, and a goal by Matt Zuccarello. It looks like on. Holy folks! I hope you're awake now because that was not quiet. Maybe it's just my headphones. I don't know. Zuccarello though with a goal there, Isha.
Hey, I said it. Zuccarello's going to have to start shooting the puck a little bit more, and he will get rewarded if he does.
Isha,
and there
come
we
on.
have
Where's the light, bro? We got this light and you ain't even shining it. There we go. There we go. I love it.
First goal of the night. Matt Zuccarello opened things up for the Vancouver Canucks. And wow, I'm a fan of Matt Zuccarello. I really am. And he points at his line mate. Of course.
Nice little breakaway goal. Nothing too fancy. A pretty simple shot on Thatcher Demko. You know, a guy like Matt Zuccarello just showing off his speed, you know, older guy, but he still has that foot speed and he's able to get into position where he can have that breakaway and, you know, he buries it.
You can say this about a lot of players, and I get it. And you can say, but a healthy player is a good player. Sick pass by Joel Eriksson Ek. Yes, Sean, I'm loving now the more comfortable Ek gets on that line. I think this could be something special here. And I was always critical saying that he's just the best second and third liner in the league. If he can find success and this line can really start scoring goals, I mean, they're going to be dangerous in the National Hockey League. But back to Matt Zuccarello, Dylan. And again, we say this all the time. When healthy, he can still turn back the clock. And I think that the last few years he's been riddled with injuries. The Matt Zuccarello, even in his mid-30s, still has some speed. He still has some skill. He's one of the most elite passers in his prime in the National Hockey League, and that hasn't gone away. He's still that right now. He just needs to shoot the puck a little bit more, and there with the breakaway there puts it away. So from a Wild perspective, they open the scoring. It is a 1-0 game in favor of the Minnesota Wild. Again, thanks to everybody joining the stream. We really appreciate it. Hey, it's a comment-driven conversation here, so let us know your comments on the game, on the NHL, on us in this stream. And please go vote in our poll question. I'll be throwing the link in our chat.
We got a 3-on-1 coming here with Brock Besser, and what a save by Cam Talbot. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Brock Besser just got denied.
Sharp Cam Talbot. Wow.
Here again. Again, Brock Besser, a chance in front of the net. Cam Talbot staring him down. Brock Besser not happy after that shift. He felt like he got robbed twice there.
Yeah, I see just the smug look on his face. Oh my God.
And what a beautiful pass by JT Miller. The sauce over to Brock Besser for that one-timer. Perfectly executed, but Cam Talbot, man, what a save.
God, I love JT Miller. I think he's very, very underrated as one of the top players in the National Hockey League right now, or a top player in the National Hockey League, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. He's, without a doubt, a top 6 forward, on pretty much any team. And, he's just kind of in the shadows wherever he was before, in Tampa Bay and New York. But when he came to Vancouver, playing with some talented guys, and you see what he can bring to the table.
Yeah, Hoppy's not commenting live on YouTube, but he's watching. He's messaging me saying you're like 15 seconds behind. We've addressed this. Dylan's through cable. I'm through another way. It's just the way it is.
We're good, Hoppy. Don't worry.
Yeah, we got this. We got this. Sean saying, what the fuck is Greenway doing? Hartman was right there. Yeah, I mean, Greenway, I want to pull for him. But like I said early in the stream, I think Brandon Duhaime is he's going to take his job. He's going to be what the Wild wanted Greenway to be there. Again, as we're in commercial break right now, reminder, and I'll drop the link in the YouTube chat throughout the night. Go vote on our poll question, which is, what is the better jersey? We have here the Minnesota Wild reverse retro.
Look at that.
Kind of came off the coat hanger, so my apologies. And the Vancouver Canucks millionaires. You can vote at VI Sports Talk on Twitter. Again, the link is in the YouTube chat, and I'll keep dropping it in there throughout the night. Thanks to everybody joining us thus far. If you're new, we're going to be here all night. We're going to be here throughout the intermissions and have a little post-game show as well. So kick back, crack a cold one, throw some popcorn in the microwave. Let's go. It's been a fun game thus far.
It has been. There's been a lot of energy from both teams. The Vancouver Canucks just getting set up in the offensive zone right now. The last 3 minutes, I'll give it to the Vancouver Canucks. They've come out flying, and it looks like they're trying hard for a goal here before the period's over. I know we're only halfway through, but it's the home opener. Got to give the fans something. Got to give them something to cheer for in the first period.
Hey, Podkolzin, Besser, and JT Miller are looking good together.
Man, they're looking good. They're buzzing around there, and there's some speed to that line. They're not necessarily the fastest line. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to sit there and say Brock Besser is the fastest guy on the ice, but JT Miller and Podkolzin, they can fly.
Yeah, again, like I've been covering so much of the Minnesota Wild, and quite frankly, I really do like this team now. Vancouver holds, a special place in my heart, but I haven't been able to watch as much hockey as I've wanted to, so I haven't watched a lot of Podkolzin, Dylan. So you're gonna have to keep me abreast of what's been going on, what goes on with him all season. But he's got some wheels, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, no, he's got some wheels, and like I mentioned, where I've really noticed him so far, and it's such a small sample size, right? I've only watched this guy for a few games. I'm not going to lie and say I watched him before he came to Vancouver, but on the forecheck, I think if you can be effective on with something like the forecheck, you might not put up the goals, you might not put up the points, but if you can be effective there, that's a reason for Travis Green to keep you on the roster. You got to contribute somewhere else. And I think that's what he's doing right now. If he can keep doing that, maybe he stays in the roster. Like I mentioned before, he was scratched the last 2 games, back in this one. So hopefully, he can string together a few consistent games here and, stay up with the Vancouver Canucks.
All right. I'm just about to bring up actually the poll question tonight. I want to see where we're at. Because Dylan early in the show said it might be a little skewed because I host a Minnesota Wild podcast, but all my followers on Twitter, it's split Vancouver Canucks and Minnesota. Right now, it is in favor of the Minnesota Wild reverse retro jersey, 56% to 43%. There's not a ton of votes, so if anyone's tuning in for everyone rather tuning in on YouTube right now, the link's in the chat. Go on Twitter at VS Sports Talk. Let us know your thoughts.
All right, Isha, I'm going to give it another retweet here. We'll get some more votes, and we'll update the folks here.
There you go. Again, appreciate everyone joining. This is a show for you. We're hanging back, watching this game with you. We're cracking cold ones. We got a ton of activity in the chat thus far, and whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. Any comments on the game, we want to hear them, and we really appreciate you all joining us thus far. All right, Dylan retweeted the poll question. We'll get a little bit of
Stephen Master saying, "Go Canucks." Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Steven. And a reminder to everyone, if you haven't subscribed to the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel, please do so. Drop a like on this video and our other videos if you could be so kind. Steven Master, now a Vancouver Canucks fan. I thought the Blackhawks were your team there, Steven.
I'm liking it. So it looks like we got the Horvat Pearson line out again. I don't mind it, but I just, again, the speed factor, I don't feel like that's there with that lineup. And
don't get me started on Pearson, man.
No, I know I'm not the biggest Tanner Pearson fan either, but
it's not even him. It's just, are you serious? A 3x3 Jim Benning? Are you serious?
I know. And it's just, with Tanner Pearson, I feel like we're always going to look over and see Tyler Toffoli and say, why couldn't we have just given this guy 1 million more and had, a guy that's going to put up 25 goals or whatever. But it looks like we have a penalty here. I think it's Connor Garland. It looks like possibly an interference penalty for Connor Garland here.
Kaprizov, it looked like, tried to sell a high stick there. So
okay.
I caught his head going back a little bit.
All right, so we're going to watch it here. Yeah, so Connor Garland kind of skates in front of Kaprizov. Kaprizov throws his head back a little bit. Connor Garland and his beard get a penalty there.
I'm digging the beard.
No, the beard's great. The beard's great. It looks like he belongs in Vancouver. That he doesn't look like an Arizona guy. He looks like a
West
Canadian
Coast. Yeah.
lumberjack.
It looks like a West Coast. He looks like Johnny Canuck.
He looks like Johnny Canuck.
There
Exactly.
you go. And shout out to
Maybe
the Abbotsford Canucks there, the baby Canucks.
maybe that's what he was going for, eh?
Maybe. So the Wild back on the power play. They had some chances on their first attempt this game. Let's see if they can get some more shots on net, because they got the skill to score goals here. Fiala, Kaprizov, and we saw Zuccarello there.
Yeah, it looks like the Vancouver Canucks are, clearing the zone here. So far, the PK hasn't been too bad. They've kind of kept the Wild at bay. I feel like in this case, though, I feel like it's more the Wild haven't been able to set up, as opposed to the Vancouver Canucks being amazing on the penalty kill right now.
Sean Koskov, this is why I love him. He's a Wild fan, but he's a realist.
Yeah,
telling us we call.
Yep. Call.
Hey, Kaprizov did his best KHL work there in selling it.
Kaprizov with a shot on net. Thatcher Demko with the easy save. I believe it was Kaprizov, but Thatcher Demko, I mean, we haven't really touched on him too much, but he's looking like he's going to be a legitimate goalie in this league. I don't know if I'm going to say superstar yet. That might be a bit too soon, but I think he's going to be a star in this league. A guy that's going to be, I don't know, Isha, could you maybe say as good as a Jacob Markstrom? Like, is that kind of the bar that we're hoping for?
So far, yeah, that's kind of what I think we're hoping for. It's kind of like the organization's aiming for. And I think for those Americans listening, please, Minnesota fans and beyond, American Canucks fans, let us know if you also think that he could maybe be the third string USA goalie at the Olympics. Because, and I'm not trying to be biased because I'm a Canucks fan, I really do believe that could be the case.
Yeah, Isha, it's funny. You brought it up a couple times in the last few weeks. The possibility of him being on the American team, and a lot of people were shooting you down for that. So
yes.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's a potential there. I feel like he could make it.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously want to wish the best for the Vancouver boy. Well, I mean, the Vancouver Canucks boy, the California guy. Actually, he was
the Canucks have always been heavy on American players. It's nothing new.
Swedes and Americans, man. The Canuck way.
And then every 10 years, you throw a Russian in there.
Yeah. And you just hope he doesn't want to leave like Pavel. The Minnesota Wild, they've applied some pressure here, but not continued pressure here on this power play. And Demko's looked, other than that first goal, which again, hey, you're battling the one single player. You can't blame him entirely for that one. But so far he's looked pretty solid, eh, Dylan?
No, I think Demko's looked great. Connor Garland almost sneaking out of the penalty box with the puck there. I love those, when you're sitting in the penalty box and you see the play forming and you're like, oh man, if the puck bounces this certain way, I can get out of the box and get the puck perfectly for a breakaway. And that almost happened for Connor Garland there.
Connor Garland and his beard, yes.
And his beard, yes. Do you think he's going to shave it after, what's it called, Movember?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. He's just like, this is me.
He's just a trim kind of guy.
Yeah. He'll trim it for the cause, but he won't cut it off.
So the Vancouver Canucks kill 2 of the Minnesota Wild,
and a close shot there. One timer. Was that Podkolzin again? I'm not too sure, but
whoever it was quick. That was
another close call. Cam Talbot's looking good so far. I'll say that.
Cam Talbot's looking good, but you almost don't want to see those colors yet, because the Vancouver Canucks just gaining confidence right now. Like I was just saying, they killed off 2 penalties and quickly rebounded with a dangerous chance there on net. Looks like the Vancouver Canucks have just a little spurt of energy here coming off that penalty kill.
Yeah, it looks like they're buzzing a bit. I mean, if you look at the actual shots, the Canucks are struggling to get the puck on net. And I think that says a lot about the Minnesota Wild defense and how they're willing to step in front of the puck, how they're willing to block shots. A couple of shots, I think where the Vancouver Canucks at right now, 5 shots for the Canucks. They've all been high percentage chances. But again, it's hard to get the puck through this Minnesota Wild defense.
Yeah, it's been a tight one. back and forth, but that's what you love to see. We're only in the first period, and things could open up in the second and third. And the one thing though, Dylan, and I'm laughing when you say this, I really am, because this is what the Minnesota Wild do. And I've been covering this team for 2 years now, and the rosters are very different from, the Parise Suter, just locker room there. It was their team to what it is now. Regardless of that fact, the Minnesota Wild outshoot usually their opponent in the first period, take their foot off the gas a little bit, still usually lead in shots in the second period, but in the third, it's make or break. They either take the foot off the gas completely or, hammer it down again. So for me right now, who's used to covering this team, I mean, the Minnesota Wild, they've gotten some decent chances, especially on the power play, but it's nothing as scary as like what we just saw with the Vancouver Canucks there, right?
Yeah, no, and that's totally fair. And again, like special teams is just one of those things, like I said before, that's going to come with time. So I think we'll be able to really judge both of these teams' special teams in like, I don't know, 10, 15 games or so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any other Canuck early this season and in this game who's caught in your eye? Someone who, outside of like the JT Miller, the Elias Petterssons, the Quinn Hughes.
Well, I mean, this one might be obvious for, maybe diehard Canucks fans, but if there's any Minnesota Wild fans watching this stream, Niels Hoglander for the Vancouver Canucks is looking like this guy could be a top 6 forward for the Canucks. I feel like he could put up a 20-goal season right now. He's a fast skater. He's got a great offensive mind. And Isha, this guy, you've mentioned it before, and we've seen it. Like, this guy just doesn't give up. Like, every single play, he's going 100%. And that, he's still doing it. He last year, he had his rookie year. Maybe the offensive numbers weren't quite where you'd expect it to be when you actually watch his performance on ice, and he hasn't slowed down at all in his sophomore season. So I feel like Hoglander is going to put up a lot of points this year. Hopefully this can be a breakout season for him with the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, I've really liked Hoglander for the Vancouver Canucks. Yeah, I think he's been playing
sarcastic remarks with the comment here.
I do like Hoglander. Reminds me a little bit of Mangiapane in Calgary. Someone has given us, you know what? You've given us that exact comment. Like maybe this is deja vu, but I feel like Dylan, you came on the Soda Pod one time and we got that exact same comment. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But we've definitely on the Soda Pod, we've definitely got that comparison before, and I'm positive it was from our boys at this sarcastic remarks. But hey, maybe that's just a little deja vu here on the THPN Minnesota Wild Canucks watch along. Thanks to everyone who joined us. We're going to be going all night here throughout this game, and we'll have a little post-game show to put a bow on it as well. Join us for intermission as we'll each bring our takeaways from each period. And also, I mean, the comments, you guys are driving the bus. We're totally interactive. Let us know your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on some recent NHL news, and we'll all sit back, we'll crack some cold ones, and we'll talk about it here on this live stream.
Isha, I think we're also like, and for everybody listening, this is a reason to keep on the stream. I think we're going to give something away at some point in the stream too, right?
Yeah, you know what? We'll have a giveaway too. So stay tuned. Okay. Stay tuned. If you're staying throughout the whole thing, we really appreciate it. If you're tuning in and out, I mean, just make it a little more regular as we'll have some more details. Let's say at the end of the first intermission. Oh, and look at that. 5 more people just jumping. At the end of our first intermission, we'll talk about what we're giving away here tonight on the THPN YouTube Minnesota Wild Canucks live stream. Drop a subscribe and a like on this video and all the other videos on this channel as well. Sarcastic remark says, Billy Joel, where's the piano? No piano in this studio, although absolutely love me some Billy Joel. We're nearing the end of this first period here. Back and forth play for the most part. The Minnesota Wild out shooting the Vancouver Canucks, but the Canucks with the more dangerous of chances, despite going on the penalty kill twice.
Yeah, and Cam Talbot with another stop there on Bo Horvat, another rush up for the Vancouver Canucks. See if they can get something done here. I feel like the Canucks have played well the last 5 or 6 minutes. As I say that, Zuccarello comes out with the puck again.
He's buzzing tonight,
For
Zuccarello.
he tries to deke around Quinn Hughes. It doesn't happen. But yeah, Zuccarello buzzing. I mean, the guy almost had his second breakaway in one period.
Confidence, and Dean Evanson probably told him, you have to shoot the puck. You have to do something out there.
Yeah, Thatcher Demko with another big save, by the way. And then, they pan the camera to Creed Bratton there, and he doesn't look happy at all.
How crazy is it? Like that
I legit thought it was Creed Bratton.
Oh man, we got a penalty here coming up.
Just like a tripping call on the Minnesota Wild on Matt Dumba, tripping up Bailey.
Justin Bailey, who was just called up, playing, I believe, his first game for the Vancouver Canucks this season. So the Canucks go on the power play for the first time this period, late in the first period. So that penalty kill that I said going into this game that scared me a little bit based on what I saw in Nashville, or against Nashville, rather, with the Minnesota Wild. I mean, this is where the Canucks could maybe take advantage of the Wild here.
Yeah, we'll see what the Canucks can do. Looks like they got Quinn Hughes on the back end, JT Miller. They also got Bo Horvat in the center. And Elias Pettersson is out there as well. I think right now what you really want to see is something out of Elias Pettersson. He struggled to score so far this season. Like we said before, the only goal he scored was a really lucky one. So we want him to put something in the back of the net here.
And here I'm ripping on the Wild's PK, and it's 69%, which is actually pretty good. But like I said, in Nashville is horrendous, so I'm just calling it how I see it.
All right, and Quinn Hughes. I mean, Quinn Hughes with the puck right now. I love when this guy has the puck. He moves like no one else in the NHL, honestly, and just the vision that this guy has, it's incredible. So, love seeing that. But the Vancouver Canucks right now, cycling the puck a lot. The puck's moving a lot, but they're not getting any really good chances. And the Minnesota Wild actually able to clear it right now.
Yeah, the Wild doing what they got to do right now, not looking as bad. I'm pretty, like, the Nashville Predators just outskated the Wild, plain and simple, the other night.
Sean Cosgrove, 69% PK. It's nice, but could be better for sure.
Yes, agreed. It's nice. It's mild, as Jerem would say.
There's nothing mild about that.
Oh man. Again, thanks everybody tuning into the live stream tonight. We're having a lot of fun, and this game has been a good one thus far. Home opener for the Vancouver Canucks.
It's just great, I'm not trying to rip on the Minnesota Wild, but like,
that's what everybody's.
I know, but
with.
Yeah, right. But for the last how long, it's always been like, oh, this is a Minnesota Wild game. Like, it's going to be a defensive game. It's going to be a boring game. But now it's just not the case. Like, it's a completely different team, completely different identity. Watching this game, this is entertaining. This is a lot of fun. I would pay for tickets to go, to a Minnesota Wild game now. There's a reason to go watch this team.
Hey, it's the first time Kaprizov has set foot in Rogers Arena.
There you go.
There you go.
History in the making, folks.
History in the making. Well, hey, he could be a superstar for the Minnesota Wild when all things are said and done.
I have no doubt he could be.
Very small sample size, and did he deserve that contract? I don't know. That's not for me to say. Go check out the Soda Pod. But no, he is a hell of a player.
It's not for me to say, but go check out the Soda Pod where I say so.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Look at that. Some Minnesota Wild love in the chat here as well. Actually, we'll start with Shane. He got whacked in the face by Hughes. There you go. And Alyssa, let's skull Wild. I love it. Vikings and Wild fan. Thank you for tuning in, Alyssa. We appreciate it. And again, everybody, stay tuned. Even if you just have us on in the background, we're going to be doing a giveaway here on our show. We'll talk about the details right at the end of the first intermission. And I will continue to drop the link in the YouTube chat as well, but we have a poll question going on. We'll tee up our intermission talk with the poll question, and we'll check in on that then as this period wraps up here.
All right. Yeah, there's the end of the period. Shots for the Wild 12, shots for the Vancouver Canucks 8, 1-0 lead for the Minnesota Wild.
So there you go. I mean, Vancouver, they caught up a little bit there. So not the worst. Well, there you have it. Like Dylan said, end of the first period. Hang tight. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, but we will be back. We'll talk about the poll question at the end of the first intermission before puck drop. In the second period, we'll talk about our contest, our giveaway that we'll have here on this stream as well. And we'll keep taking your comments, your thoughts here. Again, this is driven by the listeners, by the viewers. And join in our conversation, help us drive the bus here. And we'll also give our thoughts and takes from the first period of this game. Thanks for tuning in to the THPN, that is the Hockey Podcast Network's Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks live stream. A quick word from our sponsor, and we'll see you on the other side. And we're back. Thanks to everybody tuning in and joining us here on the Hockey Podcast Network's Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks Watch Along. Big thanks to our friends at DraftKings, the leader in sportsbook and daily fantasy. Use promo code like you saw there, THPN, for a sign-up bonus. And if you're a regular user, plug that promo code in for a weekly deal. Before we get into our first period takeaways, both from a Wild's perspective and a Vancouver Canucks perspective, wanted to quickly check out our poll question. The Minnesota Wild versus Vancouver Canucks live stream poll question. We ask you, what is the better jersey? Vancouver millionaires.
Close enough.
Close enough. Or the Minnesota Wild reverse retro. I dropped the link in the YouTube chat. I will again here shortly. If you're on Twitter, you can find it pinned at VI Sports Talk. Right now, a very narrow lead for the Minnesota Wild's reverse retro, 51 to 48%. So there you go. We
got a couple comments coming in here. Couple for the reverse retro, actually. We're getting some Minnesota Wild love here. From the Sarcastic Remarks and Alyssa here going for the retro.
Hey, Alyssa, thanks for joining us in the staying on and joining us in the intermission. And Sarcastic Remarks, I know you're a Jersey buff, so if he gives the stamp of approval, the check mark there, then that's a good thing. Like we said, at the end of this first intermission, we'll talk about our prize, our giveaway item for all you tuning in tonight. And again, this entire watch along, this entire live stream is viewer driven. We're going to go by the comments and questions and takes that you throw at us. So we're totally interactive. Please don't be shy. Hit us up in the chat and subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel while you're at it, and give a thumbs up on this video and other videos on our channel. All right, we got a couple more comments coming in here. Hey, Dylan?
Shane Van Ice saying, is Elias Pettersson Louis Ericksoning us? That was a tough one to say.
Yes, Shane. Yes, he is, because Louis Erickson, for some reason, learned how to play hockey again in Arizona.
Yeah. That's I won't even get into that
Make-
one. I just want to erase Louis Eriksson out of my mind. So thank you very much.
And the soda pod. Can a Dallas supporter be a Jersey buff? Ooh, I like it. Stirring it up right off the bat.
Throwing some shade. I like it. I like it.
Throwing some shade. Okay, let's talk about our takeaways from this first period, Dylan. What did you like? What did you not like? What are your takeaways from the Vancouver Canucks?
Well, what I really liked and what I've really liked a lot in the last, few games for the Vancouver Canucks. I know this might be a cop-out answer, but Thatcher Demko. I mean, this guy, I feel like he's going to be a difference maker for this team. I feel like if Thatcher Demko plays like a top, let's say 15 goalie in the NHL, top 10 maybe, I feel like the Vancouver Canucks, you can pencil them in for a playoff spot. If Thatcher Demko doesn't play well, I mean, who knows if they're a playoff team. But right now in this game and in the last few games, Thatcher Demko's looked well. I think he's going to give them a chance against the Minnesota Wild here. One thing I did not necessarily like from the Vancouver Canucks is the lack of shots. I mean, the Minnesota Wild, like we talked about before, they're getting in the way of a lot of these shots. Yeah, they had a few, nice chances there in the period, but to get past a goalie like Cam Talbot, we're just going to have to get a lot of shots on net. You got to hope for a deflection here or there. We talked about Elias Pettersson's only goal being a rebound off the boards. Well, sometimes you have to get lucky. And to get lucky, you just need to get the puck on net, but you also have to choose your lane. So that's when, guys like Oliver Ekman-Larsson come into play, guys that can actually shoot the puck and not just hit shin pads every time. Let's get the puck on net. Let's get some rebounds, like you mentioned with Cam Talbot. He lets some rebounds out, and, let's pick up some garbage and get some goals there.
Who's the garbage man for Canucks, though? Because Louis Eriksson's gone.
Louis Eriksson's gone. I mean, I feel like
not that he ever was for the Canucks.
I feel like Connor Garland can be, a bit of a garbage man. Another guy actually that's been playing, that's had some power play time that might surprise people is Alex Chiasson. He's had a lot of success on the power play in the past. Especially playing with Connor McDavid in Edmonton as a net front presence. So that could be a role for him, and he's not getting paid like Louis Eriksson either.
No, not at all.
That's I'd rather take that at whatever he has, 700,000 or whatever, than 6 million at Louis Eriksson.
Yeah, no, for sure. And to be honest, man, like, and I'm keeping an eye again, like through a Minnesota lens, throughout this watch along, but I'm actively looking for Pettersson out there. That shouldn't be the case. I mean, Brock Besser, Hoglander, Podkolzin, JT Miller, even Tanner Pearson. I've noticed them more than an Elias Pettersson, and I'm being perfectly honest here.
Yeah, no, and we've all noticed it, I think, but I don't think it's really an area for concern, though. I just think this is a lull. Like, I just think Elias Pettersson is too good, too talented of a player to not pick it up. And like I mentioned at the start of the stream, I feel like it's just a lot of unlucky bounces. You look at his shooting percentage, it's not where you want it to be. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was just a long off season dealing with this contract. It came right up to the wire, a lot of stuff going on, and it's just a slow start. I think that's really what it is. It's just a slow start.
It looks like we have I don't know if you brought this comment up from Annalise. This is amazing. I'm so thrilled. I love this. We got y'all on the big screen in the living room. We don't get the game on cable. Well, wow, we don't have the game on. You know what? And we're so happy then that you can sit here and get game updates and watch this game with us.
That's amazing. It really is.
We really appreciate it. And we're happy to do this for you. Minnesota Wild fan, I love it. We'll continue to do this for you. If there's a demand for these watch alongs, if you don't have cable, if you want to sit here and watch along with us, we'll do more of them for you and your family on the big screen. Dylan, look at that. Now I gotta self-consciously chew this cookie away from the mic.
Sarcastic remarks saying he'll explode offensively. Just give him a week or two, referencing Elias Pettersson. I agree. I mean, just you guys too talented. He's going to put up, a point a game consistently throughout his career in the NHL, I believe. And that's not going to change this season. He's going to put up the points.
Yeah. So my takeaways from this first period through a Wild's perspective are pretty obvious. Let's be honest. Well, not trying to, dive deep here, do anything crazy here, Dylan. Zuccarello shooting more, and it's paying off. A goal for the Minnesota Wild. He was rewarded, and he also, tested Demko as well later in that game. And I think he a little overconfident there, came in on like 2 or 3 Vancouver Canucks and was quickly shut down. He tried to outdangle like Quinn Hughes or something like that. But he's buzzing. And we said that in the first period. He's buzzing out there. So that's a takeaway. That's a positive from a Wild perspective, because this is a player who he's been injured a lot throughout his time with the Minnesota Wild. This year he's healthy. He's ready to go. He's passing the puck. It seems like him and Kaprizov have tremendous chemistry. However, he's not shooting enough. So I like that he's kind of taking things, taking over a little bit. So that's my first takeaway.
Sorry to interrupt. We got a comment here. I think you should read quickly.
Explode eating the cookie. I need.
I think it was a typo there, but in reference to the sarcastic remarks comment, no, Isha will not explode eating these cookies.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I missed the sarcastic.
These are those kind of cookies.
No, they aren't those kind of cookies. Although you can buy those kind of cookies on Vancouver Island, apparently.
True.
Anyways,
apparently he says.
I wouldn't know. Cam Talbot, and I mean Dylan's been highlighting this a lot in this game as well. He's looked solid. The Vancouver Canucks, though they don't have a lot of shots on net, a lot of them are dangerous shots, have been dangerous shots rather. And Cam Talbot has been doing an unbelievable job thus far. I mean, I hope he's getting his rebound control. I hope he's addressing it. I hope it's getting better. Tonight, it hasn't been a problem, but it's something that there's still a lot of hockey. There's still 2 periods of hockey left, and I'm interested to see if the Canucks are going to try to exploit that. But so far, love how Cam Talbot has been playing. Love how Zuccarello has been playing. Kaprizov, unlike Pettersson, yeah, he's not scoring, but he's been noticeable. And we highlighted in our pregame show that he still has the points to back it up, where this is Elias Pettersson's 7th game, and he has 3 points thus far.
Yeah, it's going to come for these guys. And, some guys just have slow starts to the season. And these guys have only had a few years in the NHL. For Elias Pettersson and for Kaprizov, it's his 2nd season in the NHL. So, be a little patient. I think both these guys will be more than fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Quinn Hughes with Poolman. We talked about how, hey, actually, we didn't mind that. We didn't mind that pairing going into this game. And I, quite frankly, I've liked it thus far. I don't think it's been leaking, for lack of a better term. I don't think any pucks are getting through them. Any players are getting through them. I think they've been pretty solid. I've noticed Hughes again more than Pettersson out there. Do you think that this is something that Travis Green may continue to dish out, Dylan?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you have a defenseman like Quinn Hughes, I don't think it's important to look for another flashy defenseman. I think it's important to look for a guy that you can count on, a guy that's consistent, a guy that, when Quinn Hughes does make the risky play and does skate the puck up the ice and maybe tries to drive the net and it gets turned over, you want to make sure that he's partnered up with a guy that's going to be there on the back end, a guy that can maybe handle a 2-on-1 if needed. And I think, Poolman is that perfect player for him. So I really like this pairing so far.
Yeah, and we got a comment here from a Wild fan, D Penn, saying, Fiala's got to get his hands back. Lol. I feel like he can't settle down the puck at all the past few games. Fair enough. We can be critical of Fiala. And again, and maybe this is a cop-out, Dylan, and I know you're a fan of Fiala too.
I thought you say I know you're a fan of cop-outs.
No, he just doesn't have any support. So maybe he's just overthinking things. And sure, that's not an excuse for a player at his level, for a player making the money that he's making, and a player who's quite frankly playing for a contract next season as well, as he only signed a 1-year deal with the Minnesota Wild this offseason. So yes, I agree with everything you said, D, but I'm not upset yet. I'm not concerned. I'm not annoyed with him because I understand his situation. He has nobody to play with. I don't know.
No, it's interesting. I feel like Kevin Fiala is an underrated player in the NHL. I feel like he's even an underrated player by the Minnesota Wild, if that's even possible.
No, I think so too. I think he came in, everyone was like, "Oh, we're blown away by him." In that little like bubble playoff, taste that we had in that season, but then Kaprizov came, and it's like, okay, everyone just. And in fairness, finally the Russian savior is here. We're gonna swoon over him.
Well, you need something, right? You need something.
Yeah.
Got some more comments. So we'll leave the comments for now. Keep commenting on the game. Who you think is going to win the game? Right now, Minnesota Wild up 1-0. I don't know. I still feel like the Vancouver Canucks have a chance in this one. They've been firing the puck quite a bit. They have a lot of energy. They have a lot of speed to their game. And maybe this is the game where Elias Pettersson finally breaks through and scores 2 goals. He's not just going to score 1 goal. If this guy scores, he's going to come up with 2 goals, and they're going to be bangers.
Yeah. I see in our chat our boy Rodsy plays. Is this only a talk? Well, in the intermission, it's only a talk. Come back during gameplay, and we'll show you what we got for you, bud.
Some more talk.
It's exciting stuff.
That's why I was like, oh, we got some comments. Oh, I don't know if I'll put that up. But
I know. I was picking up what you're putting down, but I was like, yeah, you know what? Rodsy's got a good name. We should throw him up.
Great name, Rodsy.
Great game, Rodsy. Again, thanks everyone tuning in on our watch along here, our live stream, THPN YouTube channel. Drop us a like. Please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Dylan, we're getting close to puck drop here in the second period. Should I grab this item we're giving away? And honestly, we'll ask the people tuning in. We didn't really plan this. We don't really know how we're going to give this away. We're probably going to have to implement some sort of thing of like comment when the video's over, maybe when the live stream's over. And then,
well, Isha, how about this? You have to comment on the live stream what you think the final score is going to be.
There you go.
We'll make the deadline. I don't know. What should we make the deadline? The start of the third period?
Yeah, we'll do
okay,
that.
5 minutes into the third period, we'll make it that the deadline where you have to submit your final scores for the game. And everybody that gets the right score, we'll just put your name in a hat and draw out a name. How about that?
Yes, and the hat piece, very key in that. Also,
you like that, eh?
There's 29 of you watching right now at this second, and it goes up and down throughout this whole thing. Y'all just heard that. We expect 29 goal predictions, but give me 1 sec here. I'll grab it.
We'll have a quick word from our friends at DraftKings, and then Isha will show us that nice prize.
There you go. All right, we are back. Thanks to everybody again tuning in to this watch along, and big thanks to our friends at DraftKings. Marat's 10 live. I watched that video of the Canucks being superheroes like 10 times. It was so good.
I haven't seen it yet. I don't know what he's referencing.
Drop the link. Drop the link in the comments.
I'm actually really interested to see what that is because I feel like I'm missing something pretty cool here.
All right. And we will draw the winner from. We will draw the winner from said hat too. I know the game is just.
We just started the game, but that's all right. Let's get it going with the prize, and
we'll get it going with the prize here as well. We are giving away at the end of this stream a Gong Show Gear official 20 miles 20 smiles hat. We will literally pick the winner, drawing from the hat too, and we'll get all your information after this stream. You can follow us at HockeyPodNet for all of that. So again, send us your goal prediction, your score prediction, the prediction of the outcome of this game between now and the first, what did we say, Dylan? 5 minutes of the third period?
5 minutes into the third. And make it simple. Just 3-2 Canucks, 5-4 Wild, just like that. And you're entered into the contest.
There you go. D-Pen giving the Flames. Hell yeah, buddy. Let's go. All right. And we are back. The Wild, just a few minutes after, or a couple minutes after puck drop there. The Wild up 1-0. They've been on the power play twice already in this game, and the Vancouver Canucks won.
D Penn saying 4-1 Wild.
I'm taking note, Penn.
All right, are you taking these down? Or are you going to write them down?
Yeah, I got them.
I mean, I know I'm kind of the producer of this episode, but I mean, we'll share the load here.
Who else we got here?
Oh, we got another one. Canucks lose 1-3. Don't hate me.
I don't hate you. I don't hate you.
It's kind of hard right now, but I'll do my best. We got a lot of love for the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, it's because I flashed that reverse retro jersey, which by the way, check out the poll question. I'll drop the link right after I finish talking about this in the YouTube chat. If you have Twitter, go check me out at VI Sports Talk. I've pinned the poll question on the top of my page. Since this is Minnesota Wild and Vancouver Canucks watch along, we figured we'd throw in a jersey poll.
And here
Minnesota Wild reverse retro. Vancouver Canucks millionaires. So there you go. Vote at VI Sports Talk. I'll drop the link in the chat right now.
We're getting some love from for the Canucks from Shane Van Ice saying 3-2 Vancouver Canucks. I like that, Shane. I feel like you got a good chance at winning that prize. And it wouldn't be the first prize that Shane Van Ice has won from one of our podcasts. He's a big fan of both of our shows.
Big supporter of the Hockey Podcast Network. Thank you very much, Shane.
Some more love for the Wild. Annalise, is that how you say it? Annalise, I believe. 2-1 Wild.
And we will let you know, of course, what the score updates are, Annalise, as we're on your big screen, as we are your Wild Canucks game tonight.
I love that. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate it there. So I'm taking note. Give me a sec here.
All right. I'm glad someone's on top of it. Not too much action in the first couple minutes here. Vancouver Canucks in the Minnesota Wild zone. Again, like they're not really getting set up well right now. It seems like a lot of puck movement and cycling, but all in the perimeter. There's nothing happening in the inside, and I think that says a lot about the Minnesota Wild defense.
Yeah, I just saw Alyssa's goal prediction just came in. 5-1.
Oh, here we go. And another
Wild.
Goal for the Minnesota Wild. Thatcher Demko kind of flopping around. I believe it was Foligno that put this one in.
There we go. That third line. What was I saying in the pregame show, man? This third line is dangerous because they can shut down top pairings and they can also score because
okay. So Jack Rathbone with a not a great giveaway. Tries to pass it through the center. Ooh, that's a rough one. And then Brodin comes with the shot. And was it? I think it might have been Brodin actually with the goal at the end of it. A rebound on his own shot. So 2-0 for the Minnesota Wild.
There we go. Brodin getting rewarded. Now, Brodin is one of those silent killers for the Minnesota Wild. He's one of the best skaters in the National Hockey League. And I say that, one of the best skaters in the entire league. And also one of the best, straight up pure defensive defenders. He doesn't score a lot of goals. This is his third point of the season, first goal, and he has 2 assists as well. He's like a 30-point guy, and like scoring is not his thing. Right, that's not what brings value, or what the Wild value him for. I absolutely love Brodin. He has a great chemistry with a Matthew Dumba, so it's cool to see him being rewarded here tonight.
Alyssa commenting 5-1 in favor of the Wild. I mean, it's looking good right now. I'm not gonna lie for that bet. So there we go.
Starting things off. What 12 shots? I got it.
All right. There we go.
The comments are coming in hot. I love it. Anna like Frozen, then
Lise like so Annalise.
Yes. So we were right. We got it.
Yeah, we're pretty good. I mean, we're terrible with names, but we kind of got that one, I think.
Yeah, and for like hockey podcasters and former radio broadcasters, we should be better with names.
We should be better. Just like I feel like hockey people should be pretty good with names, right? Because there's so many different ones. It's so diverse. But we're not that great. We got a couple of comments, sarcastic remarks saying really bad turnover. But just before the goal, I think he said lots of turnovers, which is funny.
Yeah, and Rathbone turns over the puck. I've liked Rathbone thus far. He's a young player. He's a rookie. He's going to make mistakes.
D-Pen saying, talk about sleeper in the league. Brodin is so underrated. Isha, you just mentioned it.
Yeah, he really is. He'll make Sweden's Olympic team though, for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Josh Deming asking how I'm doing.
How you feeling?
Little under the weather today, folks. That's why I'm not in the THPN studio with Isha Jerome doing the stream from home. But the next watch along, I will be in the studio with Isha. I'm doing good enough to do the stream though. How about that?
Hey, and you're doing a bang up job, my friend. This is a lot of fun.
No, it is a lot of fun.
And we appreciate everyone tuning in. I just still can't believe we're on the big screen again. I'm feeling a little self-conscious,
I know. Should have done some makeup before I went on TV.
Should have wore a nice hat, not a Canadian toque here. But
do you own a nice hat, Isha?
Hey, I got a Canucks one out there. There's a Hockey Night in Canada one.
All right, fair enough.
I'm weird with my hats. Everybody watching this, quick tidbit. Like I just go to Lids out here in Canada, whatever, just your standard baseball cap store is, and I just get black it's a black snapback with green under the trim, and I have like a stock of like 10 of them, and when one gets too dirty, I just go into my closet and I grab the next new one. So I'm very particular about my hats.
There we go, folks. More information than you needed.
By the way, but for our Vancouver Canucks listeners or Vancouver Canucks fans, the BC listeners, Dylan just got a cool hat. Is that what you're sporting right now?
Yeah, the Donnie and Dolly hat. Maybe in the intermission I'll take it off and show the fans, but yeah, big Don Taylor fan, a big Rick Dollywall fan, so I was pretty pumped on that one.
I'm telling you. Best in the business.
Best in the business. Donnie and Dolly, though, is a great show on Czech News here in Vancouver.
Yeah, absolutely. So a 2-0 lead for the Minnesota Wild, outshooting the Vancouver Canucks 17-10.
They're just showing a replay of Connor Garland and him just getting under the skin of Matt Zuccarello. And again, Connor Garland with that reverse hit. We've seen it so many times with this guy, and he did it again, pisses off Matt Zuccarello a little bit. That's one element that I love about Connor Garland is he can produce that offense, but I don't think Vancouver fans realized before he joined the Canucks that he can get under the skin of opponents, and he does it well.
And he's tiny, right? Like he's not a big guy at all. So that's what I love about it. Like he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. You got to get under the skin of your opponents to win. Sean Cosgrove saying Brodin 7x6 million and Joel Eriksson Ek 8x5.25 million are such good contracts. Yeah, I mean, some people were critical about Brodin's contract. I think it was A, well-deserved, B, very, very fair value for what you're getting out of this player. Again, he's in my, I don't know, dare I say top 5 skaters in the league. And I'm not saying speed because those are different things, just all around skating. He's a defenseman. You have to, the best skaters are defensemen in my opinion. And it's just a joy to watch if you kind of just zone in on the mechanics of the game.
Yeah. Sorry, Cam Talbot with another couple nice saves. I mean, he's having a great game right now, and not a lot of shots, but he's dialed in. I just wanted to bring up, I mean, would you rather have Brodin at his contract, or would you rather have one of the defensemen that just got signed this offseason, like a Darnell Nurse or a Seth Jones with the high price tag that they have? I would take Brodin 7 days of the week.
All day, every day. I ain't touching Darnell Nurse. I ain't touching Seth Jones. No, and hey, both love those players. I really do. I got nothing against those players. Defense is my favorite position in hockey, but they do not deserve those contracts.
Listen, folks. If the salary cap wasn't a thing, I would have a completely different opinion on the matter. But we live in a salary cap world, and when you're paying guys like $9-10 million, they better be unquestionably superstars in the league, and I just don't know if that's the case with Darnell Nurse.
Hey, and that's why I question Kirill Kaprizov too, and I'm still not 100% sold. I know the puck trickles back into the Wild zone there, but they had some great puck movement just moments earlier in the Vancouver Canucks zone. So that second goal,
what a save from Thatcher Demko.
Oh my God.
Stopping the one-timer from, was it Gaudreau on the Minnesota Wild?
Yeah, Freddie Gaudreau. Look at that passing again.
Yeah, the passing, but let's quick replay here. Thatcher Demko coming across with the glove and stopping the one-timer. What a save. Sean Cosgrove saying nice save. Shane Van Ice saying what a save by Demko.
What a save by Demko.
Love it. Love it. Marat's 10 saying, I can't wait till Travis Hamonic returns. He decided to come back. This is huge for the Canucks. He will probably end up in the AHL for a couple games. Yes.
Yeah.
Big. I mean, anytime you can add depth, especially, I mean, I'm not saying he's a depth guy like a number 7 defenseman, but anytime you can add depth to a team like the Canucks, especially a team that's, used to having injuries on their back end, I feel like that's a good thing. And, Travis Hamonic, we've seen he is a good defenseman. He's a steady guy, kind of like another Tucker Poolman almost. I think that's a pretty fair comp.
Sure, but Poolman, I mean, I just want to give Poolman some love here. Like, he's a way better skater.
Sure.
I get what you're saying, but I just want to say,
maybe, fair enough. But I think maybe you could say on the defensive end, maybe Travis Hamonic has a slight edge there.
Yeah, fair enough.
But either way, I agree. It'll be great to see him coming back. Lindsay M joining the stream saying hello, Lindsay.
Hello, Lindsay.
Sean Cosgrove saying Gaudreau snake bit so far.
Sure, yeah, he's had some good chances, so I agree. But this is Freddie Gaudreau, so like.
What are you really expecting here? I mean, no disrespect to the player, but you're not expecting this guy to put up 30 goals. I don't think.
No,
this isn't Johnny. This isn't ham and cheese.
No, this is not ham and cheese indeed. Again, thanks to everybody tuning in on the live stream, this watch along. It's been a lot of fun. We really enjoy watching this game with you. We really enjoy you joining in on the conversation in our YouTube chat. So please do so. I mean, you all are running the conversation here. Dylan and I, we have our takes on this game, and we will continue to comment on it and talk about it, especially in our post-game show here as well, which we will be giving away our prize in the post-game show, and more on that in the second intermission. But this is a viewer-led show. Hit us up with your comments, your NHL takes, your points on this game.
Lindsay with the comment saying, this is from a Flames fan. Please take care of Hamonic. I really like that guy. We will do our best. We like Travis Hamonic as well.
Look, Jim Benning is trying, and Vancouver Canucks fans will say that he's trying a little too hard, but we won't get into the politics of that.
Josiah with a question saying, hey guys, off topic, but will Austin Matthews go to Arizona after his contract expires with the Leafs? It's funny, Isha, we've talked about this not necessarily on any podcast, but we've talked about it a lot off air that we feel like it would be amazing, honestly.
I would love to see it, both as someone who cannot stand the Toronto Maple Leafs and for someone who wants to see, if this franchise is going to keep existing there, it needs to grow. And I think the only way it can grow is with an Austin Matthews.
It looks like we have a penalty coming up here. Is Bukestad, I believe, 27 for the Minnesota Wild. I believe it's a hooking call on Oliver Ekman-Larsson. So there we go.
That's a hook if I've ever seen one, Dylan.
That's a hook. I knew it was Bukestad because, I mean, he's the only guy that's over 6'5" on the ice right now.
Yeah. Really on the Wild's team. I mean,
him and Tyler Myers duking it out. That would be something else. Those long alien arms just flying around there.
Which, how we lose all of our viewers in a stream is we say that we actually don't hate Tyler Myers as much as Canucks Twitter, but hey.
Oh, there we go. It's plummeting. We have a couple comments here as the Canucks go in the power play, setting up, looking pretty nice so far. D-Pen saying, I haven't watched any Canucks game yet. But how is OEL being? Oliver Ekman-Larsson has been pretty damn good for the Vancouver Canucks so far.
Yeah, I mean, watch the power play. He'll shoot the puck from the blue line. That's his thing. He's no shame in doing so. Doesn't look for the pass, just finds the lane and shoots the puck, which I like.
Yeah, absolutely. And pretty dependable on the back end as far as I can see so far. The Canucks really trying to get Elias Pettersson the puck right now. And I feel like they're kind of telegraphing everything. It's too obvious. Elias Pettersson's on the faceoff dot, just waiting for that one-timer. And, if you're Cam Talbot, you got to expect it. You can see this guy over there waiting. So I feel like maybe the Canucks got to shake things up a little bit, try something different rather than just trying to get Elias Pettersson to goal here.
Yeah, I mean, take advantage of the other players who are buzzing in a JT Miller or Barack Besser too. I mean, Pedersen's
No.
shooting there. I mean, he shot the puck. Sure, he got a
I,
chance.
I was
But
I was a little scared he was going to score there after I was just kind of talking about it. But I mean, it's not a bad play. I just feel like it's maybe a little bit too obvious right now, but maybe not. I mean, Alex Ovechkin's made a career out of standing right there and getting shots off. So what do I know?
yeah, but I mean, and as much as I love Pedersen's shot, it's not OV-esque.
It's not an OV shot.
No, it's not.
So, I mean, so far though, I will say the Vancouver Canucks have maintained pressure this entire power play.
They've looked good on the power play. Yep.
Gotten a few shots off. I was talking about Elias Pettersson on that faceoff dot, but I mean, he has been able to control the puck. He's been able to get open somehow. Oh, and then we have a goal. Alex Chason, like I mentioned, that net front presence. Alex Chason tipping in the goal from Elias Pettersson for, I believe, his second goal as a Vancouver Canuck, actually. But again, Isha, like I mentioned before, this is the spot for Alex Chason. He's had success on the power play unit with Connor McDavid in the past. And if he can keep doing this, maybe he has a spot with the Vancouver Canucks.
Look, Josiah, if you want your Canucks to win, you got to keep commenting. This is all because of you, my friend. I mean, look at this, Dylan. Got it. He says they got to score. They got to score, and they scored. So there you go. There you go.
Love it. Love it.
So the Vancouver Canucks making a game out of this, Dylan. We said it's been back and forth throughout this entire game thus far. Yes, the Minnesota Wild out shooting the Vancouver Canucks, but I wouldn't say getting the best of them. In the first period, the Vancouver Canucks had the more prime opportunities where the Wild, just peppered them a little bit more. The Wild kind of continued to do that in this period, though they've had some good chances too. But the Vancouver Canucks had
almost another goal. Sorry to interrupt you. And there was some rough stuff after the whistle here.
A little tussle there in front of the net.
A great chance for the Vancouver Canucks there to make it 2-2. But Cam Talbot coming out big with another, big save. I mean, again, Cam Talbot, he's been one of the better players in this game.
Yeah, he's on fire. And I like how the fire's starting to brew between these two teams now. We're pretty much halfway through this game. There's the feeling out process is over. There's been a few goals scored now. But yeah, the Vancouver Canucks had an outstanding power play there, and they were rewarded on it.
Alyssa saying they only scored because they had to, because I said it's 5-1.
Hey, you may be right. You may be right. So let's, from a Wild's perspective, let's hope that they open the floodgates now and that all lines score.
Sean Cosgrove just ripping Alyssa there again with the comment. I don't think anyone predicted.
Should have said 5-0 rookie mistake. I love it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone predicted a shutout though, right? So I think everyone's good as far as that goes.
Yeah, I mean the Vancouver Canucks have been scoring. Like they have the Vancouver Canucks on paper are actually one of the better teams in the Pacific Division. Like we've talked about with Pettersson and and I think that is also a result of him not having a proper training camp. He trained in Michigan, but he trained in Michigan with the boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pettersson stayed out for almost 2 minutes during the power play. Yeah, and Dylan was commenting how they were just giving him the puck. And he was trying to do everything.
They were really trying. They were really trying hard. And hey, at the end of the day, it worked.
He looked good. He looked good though on the power play.
No,
he looked good.
He looked really good. And it's kind of funny, Isha. We were talking, I don't know if it was before the stream or during the stream early on, but Alex Chason, we were talking about how that's maybe one of the only spots where he can be productive on this team is in front of the net. And what happens? He gets a power play goal right in front of the net, picking up the garbage.
Yeah, great call, Dylan. Great call.
The garbage man, the new garbage man. There we go, folks. Alex Chason is the new garbage man.
I wish I had that clip from Simpsons. The garbage man can. Shout out to Halford and Bruff. That one's all credit. Or McClutchy. Ian McClutchy. We miss you on the airwaves in Vancouver, sir.
Legend. Absolute legend. Let's see if the Vancouver Canucks can keep
Baumgartner with the nice dark suit.
No, I was about to make some sort of comment there. I didn't know if it was off key, but Baumgartner looking good.
I mean, everything goes. We got to talk here for 3.5 hours. So if we got to jump into suit talk, we're gonna do it.
Oh, we're gonna jump into suit talk. Don't you worry. Pulled Colson out there with Miller again. Myers on the back end, from what I can see. Again, I like Tyler Myers. I do. Some people might look at the play that just happened where he jumps up in the offensive zone. It's a little bit of a risky play, yeah, but sometimes you need that. If you can pair him with a good defensive partner, I think you have a pretty good pairing there.
It's the contract, man. We're allowed to love the player and we're allowed to hate the contract. That's what a
Yeah.
lot of Minnesota Wild
Here's the
people
thing.
say about Matt Zuccarello.
Like, okay, you could say he's overpaid, but by how much? How much is Tyler Myers overpaid? If he goes to the open market, what is Tyler Myers going to make? He can make
Well,
$6 million again.
Well, I mean,
Look at this market.
yeah, no, I agree. And he got what the market was set at. I think he's a $4 million defenseman at most, though, if you want to get real nitpicky.
Sure. I think with some of the extra elements that he adds, I'd say he's a $5 million guy. So I'd say we're maybe overpaying him by 1 million. In the grand scheme of things, that's not that big of a deal. And also, I mean, there's just not the size doesn't matter as much as it used to, but there's just not many guys in the league with the size of Tyler Myers. So having that element and a guy that can still skate, I think is huge for a team.
Yeah, our boy spoke to Z at the Soda Pod. He can't stand Tyler Myers, so we have to jump on and go toe to toe sometime.
Hey, there's some games where I can't stand him either.
Oh man, I mean, and then just you're so tall, just don't cross track because you're just gonna hit someone in the face. But anyways, the Minnesota Wild now, they're still leading in shots, but the Vancouver Canucks are catching up. Like I said, the Minnesota Wild in the second period of games, they don't tend to keep their foot on the gas throughout the entire period. Again, I'm no professional athlete, so I'm not going to harp on them too much of that. It's just a trend that I've seen. So I'm interested to see if they take, if they falter, if they take their foot off the gas pedal for the most of the third period. And if they do, the Vancouver Canucks, they're looking good right now. It looks like they finally found their mojo in this game. They could make it very hard for the Wild there. But if the Wild, and Dean Evison can get them going again, they can play kind of how they did in that first period where it just was go, go, go. I mean, this is going to be a battle. It's going to be a tight one right to the end. And again, the Wild, they haven't been blowing out their opponents as of late. It's been close one goal games.
What I like for the Vancouver Canucks, you said like they're buzzing right now, but it's been a pretty consistent game, I'd say, from the Vancouver Canucks. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Even early on when they weren't getting that many shots, they were still moving the puck well. They were still moving their skates, moving their feet.
Momentum was going back and forth. We said it from the beginning of the game. If they do battle in the neutral zone, it's quick, but it's been a back and forth game for sure.
No, absolutely.
What do we got here? Sean commenting on Zuccarello. He says is worth $6 million this year, but in 2 years we'll see. Well, that's what I'm saying. We love the player, hate the contract when he's when he's not doing so well. This year, Hoppy actually hasn't said that on the Soda Pod much this year because he's worth $6 million this year. He's one of the top players, and
well, it's the same story with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, right? Yeah, he's got a big ticket, but right now we're not going to say anything because he's honestly worth it at this point.
Let's hope Kaprizov keeps putting up those points or assists, if not for goals, so he can be worth it. What a contract that is. Holy moly.
I mean, you better score some goals at that point. I don't think assists will cut it.
Shane commenting again. Oh, actually. Some traffic in front of the net too from the Minnesota Wild pressuring Demko again. What a good game Demko's had. Shane saying it's going to be just like the Kraken game minus the empty netter at the end 3-2. Shane, did you already enter?
Yeah, Shane said 3-2.
Oh, yeah, no, 3-2. Okay, no, he's just doubling down. Respect.
I like it.
What a crazy game that was for the the Canucks spoiling the Kraken's home opener, but that was an intense game.
Nick Floor saying, "Look at these hosers."
Look at these hosers. Yeah, we're on the same coast as you, bud. We may have different accents.
It's close enough, honestly. Dude, I don't think the BC accent is that far from the California accent. So
no, we have like a little bit of Canadianism in there, but for the most part, it's pretty similar.
Yeah. So there you go. Any Sharks fans, go check out San Jose Hockey Now podcast with one and only Nick Floor.
Which the San Jose Sharks, man, surprising us a little this season too.
Yes. They have surprised a lot of people, and I don't know if that's sustainable. I still don't think that the San Jose Sharks are necessarily going to make the playoffs, but hey, I could be wrong. Look at them.
So last 2 minutes, actually, again, back and forth game. I mean, the Canucks have been moving the puck fine throughout this entire game, but Minnesota had a little series of pressure there, and looks like we have a penalty now on Minnesota.
Yeah, looks like Pitlick.
Rem Pitlick First game, first penalty with the Minnesota Wild.
Another hooking penalty. Seen a few of those from Minnesota Wild this game.
Oh yeah, look at that one.
Yeah, I know they're both pretty bad. So Creed Bratton not going to be happy with his team in the intermission about that one.
Well, I mean, Pitlick, his first game with the Wild, he's been on the roster, which again, some Minnesota Wild fans have been upset that why isn't one of the young guns in Iowa up here, on the roster given a chance? Well, I mean, Pitlick's been scratched for the last few games. This is his first game dressed with the Wild. They're replacing him with Victor Rask. Now, that's the thing, what we're saying, man. The Minnesota Wild's top center right now, yes, it's Joel Eriksson Ek. Last season it was Victor Rask.
Yeah,
and,
that says a lot.
And Kevin Fiala's center, Rem Pitlick or Victor Rask. So there you go.
Yeah, and Isha, we've talked about it before. I mean, Kevin Fiala is such a talented player, but he's a talented player when he's with other talented players, and some guys just need that.
Well, that's the thing, because he can set up the play, but who is he setting up to?
I know that's the problem, and it's just so unfair to judge a player almost in that position, because it's like he hasn't been put in a position to succeed. If he was on a team like the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Washington Capitals, I mean, he would be putting up 40 goals probably.
Yeah, no, good point. The comments is just buzzing. Thanks to everybody again joining us here on this watch log. Shane said Elijah, our friend at the Hockey Podcast Network, shows the San Jose Sharks number 1 in their division last year. Maybe he was just 1 year off. Yeah,
I don't know what you're smoking to choose them first last year. I mean, that's rough. Or Elijah was, at least.
Nick Berlansky, host of the Hockey Hotbed and the Tip of the Iceberg podcast on the Hockey Podcast Network, says, "How about these beauties on the stream tonight?" Nick, apparently we are beauties, because we have friends on this live stream viewing who have us on their television, have us on the big screen. So
we're beauties, and apparently we're also hosers, according to Nick Floor.
Yes, there you go. Nick, thanks for joining, buddy.
We're many things in this stream.
Shane said, I don't think they'll be number 1 in the division myself. Yeah, Shane, and you're not a huge hockey guy, and you're smarter than Elijah on that point, my friend.
Vancouver Canucks back on the power play again. Elias Pettersson, he's set up in that exact same spot.
Yep.
We got Chase on.
Backdoor.
Bo Horvat. I like Chase on in front of the net there. He's not easy to move.
Dude, that's his thing. In every team he's gone to, be it Edmonton, he was with the Washington Capitals, and he's been a good player.
And if you could find a spot in the roster for him, because I know at this point he's kind of like a specialist, right? Because
yes,
how much 5-on-5 play do you want to see Alex Chason on the ice for? For me, not very much. I almost don't want to see him on the ice, but in a spot like this, where look at him right now, he's just parked there. No one's even trying to move him. That's
hilarious.
It is pretty funny, and
who the hell is on him for the Wild? Come on,
no,
give him a little cross check here, boys.
You know what I mean? It's actually kind of incredible to watch. So if Alex Chason's able to create that space for himself, they dish it over to Elias Pettersson. He's able to get either a shot with a rebound, and Alex Chason cleans that up, or Elias Pettersson. I mean, he's so talented. We've seen he's able to make those passes in close to guys where they just have to tap it in, and that's what happened with the last goal. So I feel like Alex Chason could see some great results by just parking in front of the net if Travis Green doesn't move him off the power play. Because Travis Green likes to shake things up really quickly. So hopefully he can produce something here.
Well, it's funny because the reason he's here, Dylan, is because they need penalty killers. And he's on the power play, so he is the special team specialist right now.
He really is. Nick Floor saying, if the Sharks win the Pacific, you'll catch me at Trail for a full 48 hours. With the Trail Smoke Eaters, the local.
Yeah, he'll be eating up that West Coast smoke for sure.
Yeah. Just one of the best team names, the Trail Smoke Eaters.
Oh, legendary.
In the BCHL. Love it.
BCHL. Shout out to the USHL and high school hockey and everything in Minnesota, but nothing beats Junior A, in BC. Junior A in BC, the BCHL, second to none.
It's incredible. Holy, a breakaway chance I believe was that Pitlick
Wow.
coming out of the box. It's funny that we were joking about that earlier on, where Connor
Yeah.
Garland almost got the puck right out of the box, and looks like Pitlick was able to do that. I honestly thought he buried that one for a second, and Shane would have lost his hat, but that didn't happen.
Imagine that though, Dylan. Like he hasn't had a ton of minutes in this game, but
Comes right out of the box, puck comes right to him, skates into the zone and off the bar, off the post. Oh, wide open net. He beat Demko. That was
man.
He beat him straight out, and goalie's best friend, the post, comes in to help Thatcher Demko.
Wow, he beat yeah. I mean, he's not happy about that one, but a great opportunity for him nonetheless. I'm sure
he's kind of like Don Taylor. He hit the post.
Yeah, I'm sure Dean Evison is gonna probably lower his voice just like a couple dials now after he gives it to him in the intermission there. But what an exciting game! I mean, we're a few minutes out until the second intermission, but exciting. The Vancouver Canucks have made this a tight one. It's a 1-goal game. Minnesota Wild still lead in shots, but the Vancouver
Canucks seeing good defensive hockey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those games where there's good defensive hockey, but it's also fast and exciting, and there's some chances, there's some goals. It might end up being a 3-2 game, but sometimes those are the most entertaining. And yeah, I'm loving this brand of hockey right now.
Yeah,
I just want to see more Superman punches, and I'll be good.
Hey, Foligno, let's go. I mean, the thing is, McEwen's not on the Canucks anymore, so he has no one to fight. Who the hell is Foligno going to fight on this Canucks team? Really?
No, that's a great point. I turned on the Philadelphia Flyers game the other day there, and saw McEwen score a goal, which is nice to see.
Really? Oh, attaboy, the big fella. I love it.
I really like Zach McEwen, so I hope he does well there. And honestly, like, what a perfect spot for him, Philadelphia. Not to say he's a scumbag, but he's a fighter, and those
he can play that scumbag. Yeah, he can play that scumbag game for sure. The Soda Pod commenting here. You can say that once you attend the state tourney. Fair enough. There
you go.
It's still the best junior A.
Who's running the account right now? Is that Hoppy going off on us?
Yeah, I have it. I don't have the keyboard to my main computer that's signed into all that stuff, so I believe it's the state of Hoppy himself.
Hey, at least someone's taking care of that profile, that account.
Yes, I mean, hey, it's grown since he's joined the podcast, so all the credit to him. Again, both teams just battling here, pressing. It's been a fun, entertaining game.
Shots pretty close. 22 for the Minnesota Wild, 19 for the Vancouver Canucks. I'd say time on offense. I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me. I'd be tempted to say it's probably leaning towards the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, I would say that as well. I just think Vancouver have had more opportunities where it's been a little bit more dangerous, but the Minnesota Wild have come in with a little bit more waves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And we noted it before. I mean, the Vancouver Canucks have seemed pretty consistent throughout this game. I mean, there's been a couple waves where they were kind of buzzing there, but for the most part, I haven't seen a bad 2-3 minutes from the Vancouver Canucks so far, which is a nice thing, because that's one problem this team has, and it's a cliche. I mean, everybody can say this about their team, but they don't pull out a full 60 minutes. There's always a 5 or 10 minute span that loses the game for the Vancouver Canucks, and we haven't seen that so far. So fingers crossed.
And we're almost done here. The final few seconds of this game, and they're still battling, which is what I love. This is going to be one that I hope just goes right to the buzzer. Hell, and if it's overtime, we'll be here 3.5 plus hours on the Hockey Podcast Network's Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks watch along. Thanks to everybody who's joined us throughout this period, cracking cold ones, popping that popcorn, sitting back and watching the game with us. We truly appreciate it. We'll run down our poll question. We will run down our giveaway and our takeaways from this second period momentarily. As the buzzer sounds, as the second period ends, we're going to go on a quick break, have a word from hear a word from our sponsors here. And again, on the other side, we'll run down the poll question. Again, our Minnesota Wild, Vancouver Canucks, THPN Watchalong poll question, as well as run down our giveaway and how you can enter. Thanks to everybody tuning in, listening, viewing. We really appreciate it. Quick word from DraftKings, and we'll see you on the other side. What a remix to that song from our friends at DraftKings. Dylan will be back in just a few moments, folks, and we will dive into our takeaways, each from a Vancouver Canucks perspective and a Minnesota Wild perspective in this second intermission. Again, big thanks to our friends at DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports and sportsbook. Use promo code THPN upon sign up for a bonus, and if you're a regular user, plug that promo code in for a weekly deal. We're about to run down our poll question, our Minnesota Wild, Vancouver Canucks, THPN watch-along poll question. I will throw the link in the YouTube chat here so you can easily find it. If you're on Twitter, though, as well, you can find it pinned to my profile at VI Sports Talk. We will also run down our giveaway. Basically, you have a chance to enter our giveaway for this watch along. All you have to do is give your game prediction, your score prediction in the chat. Cutoff for that will be 5 minutes before the third period. What can you win, you ask? That's right. Gong Show Gear official. 20 miles, 20 smiles, and hell, we will do the draw from said hat. So very excited from our friends who've supplied this at Gong Show Gear to give this away on this live stream. We'll wait for Dylan to come back before we run down our poll question. It is jersey related. Some of you have chimed in, and I really appreciate it. Again, I will drop that link in the chat momentarily. But Dylan and I, being, well, Minnesota Wild and Vancouver Canucks fans, we do have a lot of their jerseys. So we thought, hell, on this live stream, we wanted to physically, show something off here. So we decided to do a head-to-head jersey battle on this poll question here. So hell, I'm just going to bring them up right now since I'm like zoomed in anyways. We have the Vancouver Canucks, or I keep saying that, the Vancouver Millionaires classic maroon jersey here up against the Minnesota Wild's reverse retro jersey. Which one do you like the most? Let us know. We have some comments here too. Again, this entire stream, it's comment driven. It's for the fans. We absolutely love it. We have some topics we will get into and we will bring up throughout this entire stream. But if we don't have to, that's the cream of the crop right there. So thank you very much for everyone who for commenting and sending in your score and goal predictions as well. Shane Van Nuys saying Canucks are a third period type of team. What Canucks have you been watching, Shane? Nick Berlansky says at least one of Hoppy's teams is performing tonight. Oh, I haven't looked at the Pittsburgh score, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, Berlansky. You can update me. Shane saying, I still have the Gong Show gear Edmonton Oilers hat. Oh, very nice, very nice. So Shane can attest to the great folks at Gong Show gear there with their unbelievable stuff. And I'll drop this link here momentarily. Hoppy says, don't look at it. Ooh, a 5-1 loss for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hey, that's one of the goal predictions here in our chat. Actually, one of the Minnesota fans tuning in said it was going to be a 5-1 victory for the Minnesota Wild, but the Vancouver Canucks, they're keeping things tight. So I don't know if they'll score that much. I don't know if the floodgates will open that much, but from someone kind of watching this game through a Minnesota Wild lens, I'd be okay with that. I'd be all right with that. So we'll see how this plays out. I'm going to go ahead and just talk about my quick takeaways from this game, again, from primarily a Wild perspective, but the action in this one was on both ends. The Vancouver Canucks scoring on the power play, Alex Chiasson parked in front of the net, and Pettersson getting, a crazy amount of opportunities, actually, and banking an assist there for his 4th point of this season. Chiasson being the the penalty kill and now power play specialist. But my takeaway is Rem Pitlick hasn't been too noticeable out there on the ice in his first game with the Minnesota Wild. However, he did take a hooking call, followed by an escape from the box where he had an opportunity to score, and actually he beat Demko on that shot, but he did not beat the post. So that is one of my takeaways there as well. Dylan will be joining us momentarily. Extended break here on the Minnesota Wild, Vancouver Canucks, the Hockey Podcast Network, Watchalong. We've been going just over 2 hours here. And I mean, so many people have been joining us in and out. Take a break if you have to as well. Grab another cold one. We still have a very exciting third period ahead of us here. Minnesota Wild, Vancouver Canucks hockey in Vancouver for their home opener. My second takeaway is Connor Garland and Matt Zuccarello kind of going at it a little bit. Garland trying to get Zuccarello off his game. Zuccarello's been having a hell of a game. I think his confidence right now is through the roof. Trying to maybe do a little too much out there, but if it's doing too much by trying to put the puck in the net versus just making that fancy play with Kaprizov, that's okay in my books. Let the guy run wild. And if the Vancouver Canucks make the mistake of putting the focus too much on a Matt Zuccarello, then maybe there's other areas in which they falter. I love Connor Garland's game, and he's getting Matt Zuccarello off his game. So again, for me, who follows the Vancouver Canucks and the Minnesota Wild, Dylan, Connor Garland is just so fun to watch here. Both him kind of pissing off Matt Zuccarello and seeing how that affects Zuccarello, but also just seeing his game and how he's bringing what I didn't think he brought to the Arizona Coyotes, but apparently, especially after talking to our friends Corey and Richie over there, he's bringing that just for the Vancouver Canucks fans.
No, and that's an element, like you said, an element that I didn't know he necessarily had. And I think if you look at this contract that he signed, I mean, this guy signed at $4.95 million. I feel like that could be a steal for the Vancouver Canucks. I mean, if this guy can put up 60 points, can be, a bit of an agitator, I guess, can get under the skin of opponents, I feel like that's a guy who's worth $6-7 million, especially if he can keep producing like he has been. I mean, I don't expect him to put up 80-90 points. Like I said, if he can put up 60 points, I mean, I think you're more than happy with Connor Garland at that point.
Hey, we have a great comment here in the chat by Deep Pen, who's been here throughout a good portion of it. So really appreciate it, man. What's your favorite piece of sports memorabilia you have? Dylan, you have a few good ones. You have a sweet Polaroid picture with the
Hanson brothers.
The Hanson brothers, yeah, from Slapshot there. I just drew a blank there.
Another one I have is a Vancouver Millionaires hat. Signed by Thatcher Demko, Brock Besser, Troy Stetcher, and infamously Ole Ulevi. at a training camp one year. So that was before any of those guys were Canucks. So I
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all. But pretty cool hat. Some good signatures on there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is memorabilia, but I mean, the Bro Jake bobblehead here is
yes, classic.
For anyone who's listened to British Columbia radio or who's a Vancouver market, who's in the Vancouver market, Bro Jake well. So this is like the best bobblehead that I think we own here.
We got some good bobbleheads. We got some good ones. The Bo Horvat and his dog Gus. I mean, classic. I love that one. There we go. Nice quality bobblehead there. We gave away actually a Brock Besser one from the BC Hockey podcast a couple weeks ago. So
Big Bert.
So for you Canucks fans, go check out the BC Hockey podcast, which is hosted by myself and Isha Jerome. We talk about everything Vancouver Canucks and British Columbia hockey.
We're just doing the whole lineup now.
We're doing the whole lineup here. Pavel Bure. By the way, folks, he has the best bobble out of all of the bobbleheads.
It goes forever.
It goes forever. So that's a key part when you're looking for a good bobblehead. I knew you would go for this one next. The Don Cherry bobblehead. Love him or hate him.
The Cold FX edition, baby.
The Cold FX. Love him or hate him. It's a great bobblehead. Who else we got there? I think we got Macklemore.
Yeah, I mean, our only Seattle representative.
Hey, that's a pretty good one. Shane Van Ice saying, "Is that an OV Funko Pop there?"
I knew Shane would say that. Shane actually gave me this. So there you go. No, it's not a huge Funko Pop guy. I'm more of a bobblehead, but hey, I love Ovechkin, and I think this one's here to stay.
There you go. Love it. So love the collection.
So there you go. So Dylan, before you rejoined us here, I was talking about my takeaways from this period. I talked about how though Rem Pitlick took a penalty and hasn't been really noticeable in his first game with the Minnesota Wild this season, he beat Demko coming out of the box, but he did not beat the post. So that was my first takeaway, was talking a little bit about Rem Pitlick. I talked a little bit about, as you heard, as you came back in, Garland and Zuccarello. My third takeaway from a Minnesota Wild perspective was Jonas Brodin. I mean, the guy scored on his own rebound, and with that really gritty and talented third line around him, was able to get rewarded scoring for the Minnesota Wild. And he doesn't score a lot of goals. He's an excellent skater. He's an excellent defender for the Minnesota Wild. A steal of a deal, as our friend Sean Cosgrove has highlighted in this chat. I think he's had a great period, and that's my third takeaway from this second period. Anything you want to add?
I'll add some from the Vancouver Canucks perspective. One might be obvious, but man, Alex Chason looks good in front of the net, and it's not easy to get a guy that can plant himself in front of the net and pick up the garbage, but it looks like that's what we have in Alex Chason, and we have him for nearly nothing. So I feel like
he's a bag of pucks,
and maybe a fucking washing machine or something. what we got him for. So yeah, I like that. I feel like he might have a spot for himself. Hopefully he can be consistent there in front of the net. The Vancouver Canucks defense, though, letting way too many breakaways for this Minnesota Wild team. I mean, how many did we see there in the last 10 or so minutes in that period?
That's a good point.
Odd man rushes. I mean, I don't know. You never want to let a guy like Matt Zuccarello on a breakaway of just Thatcher Demko in front of you. So I feel like that's one part, and another guy, Pitlick, you mentioned him. He had a breakaway coming out of the box. I know that's a bit of a different scenario, a guy coming out of the penalty box, but still, you got to stop those. So hopefully we don't see any more Minnesota Wild breakaways in the third period from the Vancouver Canucks perspective.
Yeah. Fair enough. And that has been noticeable now that you highlight that. There's been quite a few, right? Yeah, there's been breakaway opportunities for both on both ends, but no, definitely for the Minnesota Wild. Let's just go quickly around the NHL. I think we talked a lot about this period while it was going on and highlighted, I think, everything that needed to be said about it. Around the NHL, Dylan, any team surprising you? Any team, for better or for worse, not named the Wild and the Vancouver Canucks? As we know, we won't spend too much time on this topic, but we'll dive into it a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier from one of our commenters, but the San Jose Sharks coming out flying,
Yep.
did not expect that. I covered them for the last 2 years with the Stick Hungry podcast, and they were absolute trash the whole time I covered them. And now the second I leave, look at them. They're like, I don't know, what are they, 7-1 or 6-1 or something stupid?
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, so the San Jose Sharks have surprised me. Whether or not I feel like they can sustain that throughout the whole season, I think that's another question.
Okay. Chicago, I thought would do better as
Okay.
well. Obviously, on and off the ice, this team is an absolute shit show right now. I mean, look at
Yeah.
what happened off the ice, and obviously, this is stories stemming from the summer where there was an investigation against Brad Ulrich, who was alleged to sexually abuse some of the players on this Chicago Blackhawks team during their Stanley Cup run, 2009 2010 era. And I mean, the investigation, a lot has come out of it, and almost everybody involved in a management level has been let go who's still working with the Chicago Blackhawks, Stan Bowman included. Now, the reports that he stepped down, but let's be serious here. He was let go.
Yeah,
was,
I mean, yeah, that's saving face at its finest.
Yeah, and then on the ice, I mean, Jonathan Taves is going to COVID protocol. Patrick Kane, if I'm not mistaken, has COVID again, and the team has just been god awful. They've just been awful. I mean, they signed some big ticket defensemen there, but they brought in Fleury, Marc-Andre himself.
Yeah, Marc-Andre himself.
Jonathan Taves is back. Kirby Dach is back. And this team is malleable Swiss cheese. It's insane. And then on the other end, Buffalo, the Buffalo Sabres. They made the Vancouver Canucks look like a BCHL team. No offense to the greatest junior A league in the world, but come on now.
Yeah, no, they did not look good against the Buffalo Sabres. Like I said, though, it's just been a tough start for this team. Just been a tough start. And obviously, when it's against a team like the Buffalo Sabres, salt in the wound, I feel like they're going to turn it around here. And, I feel like you're starting to see the little things come for the Vancouver Canucks. And once those little things start piling up, then you start seeing the wins. And I know you're laughing because, little things Louis, but he's
missing
gone.
Our little things. We're missing our little things, guy.
Yeah. I was gonna make a joke there, but okay.
Oh, Louis. We hope you love him in Arizona.
Yeah.
Sigh. No, you're bang on there. And the Vancouver Canucks, they've had to play, and I mean Buffalo aside, they've had to play better teams than the Minnesota Wild. So I'm interested to see again how the Wild are going to play facing more challenging teams not in California.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the Vancouver Canucks is a step in the right direction. Now, I think they're one of the better Pacific Division teams. Now, that's not saying too much. However, they are a step up from any of the California teams, despite the record that San Jose has right now.
No, I mean, with the Vancouver Canucks, I feel like if all of their guys are firing on all cylinders, they're a playoff team. I don't really have any doubt about that, but it's just, consistency throughout the season. Top guys, can they be your top guys throughout the entire year? That's kind of the question, I guess, right now for the Vancouver Canucks, but I'm not too worried about it. I think what we have to worry about is hopefully some of these younger guys, hopefully Podkolzin can make an impact. Hopefully Hoglander can actually take that step. It looks like he's about to, but let's hope he can actually take that next step forward.
Yeah, and puck's about to drop here again. 5 minutes, 5 more minutes. If you're just joining us right now, and I'll make sure to send a note in the chat there. We have 5 more minutes to enter our contest. Official Gong Show gear hat here, 20 miles, 20 smiles. If you haven't already, and I've been taking note, comment in our YouTube chat to enter. All you have to do is tell us who's going to win this game, tell us the score, and you have a chance to win this Gong Show gear hat. As the puck has dropped, the third period is upon us, and more of the same. Little back and forth, quick pressure from both of these teams.
Yeah, I think we're going to see this, throughout the entire game. I think what we're seeing, Isha, is two teams that are pretty comparable. Like, I don't think one team's that much stronger than the other, and that's what we get, And also, honestly, some might joke at this or laugh at it, but two teams that play a similar style with the Vancouver Canucks and the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, a similar style. I'd say excel in
Let me take that back. Maybe not a similar style, but I feel like they're kind of built the same way.
and excel in maybe different areas, but like predominantly in some areas. Like for the most part, the Wild have a lot of depth, where the Vancouver Canucks have a lot of, I guess, top end talent. Right, taking nothing away from like the Dickinsons of the world and whatnot. I haven't seen them play enough, personally, from the Vancouver Canucks. Where the Minnesota Wild, I'm pretty sold on their on their third line. Let's just say that, whether Eriksson Ek is on it or not at this point. And say what you want about a Jordan Greenway too. I know he's not playing that great for the Wild, but if he's like the worst player right now, I mean, that's not the worst. That's not the worst problem to have.
No, if he's your worst player, then you're looking pretty good, to be quite honest with you. Quinn Hughes, the shot on net there. No one's really taken possession this period. No one's really. I don't feel like the momentum's in either way. Let's put it that way.
So what do you think? The coaches from either side are telling their team going into this period. Let's start with the Canucks. Like, what are some of the main things that, like, the Canucks being down by one goal, but being a little bit more of the dangerous team? What do you think Travis Green really was, nailing home for these guys before puck drop here?
I think the Canucks are doing a lot of things right. I feel like the message from Travis Green might be just, keep doing what you're doing. If you keep skating, maybe we'll draw a penalty. And if we can draw a penalty, Elias Pettersson's buzzing right now and the power play is looking good. Maybe we can tie this thing up, but don't take too many risky chances, because the Minnesota Wild are too good defensively. You can't risk too much against this team, because they will burn you, and they do have the offense to do that and the speed to do that. So I think just keep skating, keep playing the way that you're playing. Hopefully you can draw a couple penalties, and hopefully a couple bounces go your way.
How many more of these great Talbot saves, though, are just going to throw the Canucks off? That's
and here's the other question, though. How many more great saves can Talbot make?
Yeah, no,
right.
That's
eventually, some of these got to start going in, and that's why I feel like the Canucks just keep playing the way you're playing. Maybe get a few more shots on net. We're looking at 19 shots right now. That's not great, but otherwise, I feel like they're making the right moves. They're making the right plays. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly with that. I hopefully, at least tries to challenge somebody, because for the most part, I mean, this game just might be exactly what we keep highlighting here, just kind of going back and forth. Both of these teams, excelling in the areas in which they're meant to do. The Canucks applying a little bit more speed, a little bit more pressure, but the Wild still coming in waves. I hope we see something to throw this narrative off a little bit here, a little bit of drama. Because and I was saying about Foligno too. I hope he tries to at least throw the fisticuffs in this one. But since Zach McEwen has been gone from the Vancouver Canucks, Tyler Myers, he may be a big guy, but he's not a fighter. What is Foligno going to go after Connor Garland? Come on now.
I mean, I know Burrows threw the fist the other night. I don't know if he's much of a fighter, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, there's not many options. You're right, Isha. Not many options on the Vancouver Canucks.
And I don't think the Canucks are going to risk anything right now, being down by one in a close game like this. Maybe if the Wild score one more, they send someone out there to answer the bell just to try to get the boys going. I don't know. Maybe that's just the old school hockey in me coming out. Maybe I just want to see a fight, and I just keep talking away here, trying to speak it into existence.
I think you just want to see a fight. I just don't feel like there's a fight going to happen in this game. I just don't get that vibe. I don't get that sense. I don't feel like it's been the most. By the way, on the Sportsnet feed here, they're showing Bonnie Henry, the health minister of British Columbia, giving the rabbit ears to Dan Murphy,
photobombing him. That's hilarious. By the way, shout out Bonnie Henry for wearing a real jersey, unlike the premier of British Columbia. Like, come on now, Horgy. You go on Facebook Market and buy the first fake Canuck jersey you can find. Get it together, bud. But anyway.
Yeah, no, that was a bit of a rough look. He's a lacrosse guy, so I'll let it slide, I guess.
That's one strike. Strike one, Horgy.
Strike one.
Oh, man.
All right, so looks like a face-off coming up in the Vancouver zone. Shots for Minnesota Wild, 23. Shots for the Vancouver Canucks, 19. We're at 16:42 in the third period.
So only 2 shots thus far in this period. in
Yes,
total.
it's been a slow one. It's been a slow one.
Rem Pitlick back on the ice. As someone who covers the Wild, and I really am interested to see what this player can bring. I hope he's not just a guy who's just like a taxi kind of guy who's just going to play when, Rask, when Dean Evison just cannot take Victor Rask's shit anymore. I hope he actually gets a chance, but it's hard with this team. Like, does Jordan Greenway get scratched next and maybe he gets that opportunity? Because Brandon Duhaime, he's not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be interesting to see. Brock Besser, by the way, just coming up with a nice play and a shot. Cam Talbot, I believe, saving that with the butt of his stick. Nice to see Brock Besser getting off more shots, though. And then the Minnesota Wild coming back the other way right now with a goal and one-timer goal from, it looks like, Matt Dumba beating Thatcher Demko with the one-timer. 3-1 for the Minnesota Wild.
That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. Dumba's he's been shooting so much this year, man. So many shots are coming from the blue line, which is nice. Crazy sequence as it kind of started at the other end of the ice with Brock Besser and his great opportunity. He's been buzzing all night.
Beautiful pass over to Dumba. I don't know who. Oh, I think it was Pitlick with the pass over the sauce.
Oh, well, there you go. Pitlick in his first game with the Wild gets denied by the post and gets his first point of this season. That's what you love to see. It is a 3-1 game for the Minnesota Wild now. Sorry, just missed that comment there.
Oh, no, I'm just running through a bunch of them. There's some Uggs, some Fricks, some Dams, some Let's Goes. There's a whole bunch of comments rolling in here.
Yeah, I see Hoppy Pitlick. I hope Van makes a comeback. Rodsy plays. See, Rodsy plays joining us during the game.
I like it. Thank you,
Rodsy
plays. I like it.
Let's see. Who is saying 4-1? That was
the D Pen, right?
That was D Pen. So he's hoping for one more. Oh, if that empty netter goes in, I know there's still a lot of hockey left to be played, but
yeah, you got a chance to win a hat. And I think, folks, okay, the whistle just went, right? You have like 20 seconds to send in your submission. Like, send in the final score of the game right now. This is a great opportunity.
You have 20 seconds left to join in on our contest to win this hat.
Final score of the game. Tell us, simple as 4-5 for the Vancouver Canucks, 4-1 for the Minnesota Wild. Tell us what you think the score will be. And Isha, here, I'm gonna bring you up on the big screen here. You will win the 20 miles, 20 smiles hat from Gong Show Gear. How about that? How about that, folks?
10 seconds.
10 seconds now. We're at 15:01. No one got their submission in the last second. So the deadline has passed. Hopefully one of our lucky fans got the right score. Because if not, Isha, we get to hang on to the 20 miles, 20 smiles hat.
Well, let's just make this a thing. Our next watch along.
We're doing it.
We're doing it again. So there you go.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate everyone who's stayed on this entire stream, who's come in and out. It's been a blast for us. We hope it's been a blast for you. And we're excited to do more of these throughout this season.
Rodsy Plays has commented this a couple times, saying how much more rounds. Do we know exactly what he's referring to? Is he referring to the contest or the game here?
Okay, well, I think the contest, late submission, but right on the buzzer. So we'll let it slide with Rodsy with his last submission here.
Oh, right. Okay, I see.
3-2 for the Vancouver Canucks. Rodsy, you're so lucky you have an amazing name, or we would have.
Well, I think he means 3-2 for the Wild, maybe.
Then maybe 2-3.
Well, because if he's betting, that doesn't. Why would you bet that now? The Minnesota Wild already have 3 goals, so I'm thinking he means the other way. Right? I mean, come on. Hashtag math guy.
Well, I mean, he could still enter. It doesn't mean he's gonna win. But anyways, look, we're really throwing you a bone here, Rodsy. We really are.
We really are, because we appreciate you watching the stream for as long as you have been. I mean, you've been sticking around for a while, so we appreciate that.
Yeah. Shane says, I don't get the 20 miles, 20 smiles reference.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shane. There'll be 21 smiles once you put that hat on.
How there about that? You go. So the Vancouver Canucks, they have no choice. No, they have to play with a little bit more urgency, and they seem to be doing so right now.
They seem to be doing so. One thing that concerns me, I mean, look at that shot total. It hasn't moved a lot for the Vancouver Canucks this period. If I don't know if it has moved at all. I think Brock Besser actually missed with his shot. Cam Talbot didn't make a save, so I don't think the Canucks have had a shot this period. Am I wrong?
They've had one
I
shot.
Believe. Okay,
one shot. Yes.
So yeah, not looking great. Not looking great.
I mean, I could be mistaken. I thought it was 22-18 at the end of the second.
No, I think you're probably right. I feel like they've probably had at least one shot, but
but shoot, one shot like
make that two from Quinn Hughes, a low percentage chance from the dot. No, that was Burrows. Sorry, these 40 numbers are getting me. We got 44, 43. Come on.
Come on now.
But no screen in front of Talbot. Easy save. It wasn't a hard shot. There's going to be no rebound coming out of it. You got to do something a bit more than that to score on Cam Talbot and the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah, because Cam Talbot's been absolutely solid tonight. One of the players who I was keeping a keen eye on because I was like, his rebound control has not been good throughout the start of this season. I mean, he's 4 wins. It's looking like he's getting closer to his 5th, but
sorry to interrupt you, Isha. Sorry about that. Just got more comments coming in from Rodsy Plays. He says, I mean, by how much more rounds on the game on NHL? Period. He says, sorry, I'm new to the NHL. So basically, yeah, Rodsy, you should have told us from the get-go, buddy. But there's 3 periods in hockey. I don't know if this is the question you're actually asking for. 3 periods. Each period is 20 minutes long, about 15-minute intermission in between each one. Overtime goes for 5 minutes, 3-on-3 play. If no one scores after that 5 minutes in overtime, it goes to a shootout. And I hope that answered your question.
There you go. So now you've entered the contest by accident. And you've gotten a little you've learned a little bit about the game of hockey. And I'm glad that we can educate you, and I hope you join us on more live streams. Dylan and myself and the great contributors we have here at the Hockey Podcast Network. For those who are new to us tonight, who are just joining, who are lighting up our chat, please do us a favor, subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel, drop a like and comment on this video, and check out some of the other videos we have on the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Last but not least, check out our poll question. It's going to run the rest of the night. We're going to keep it going throughout this watch along and live stream and our post-game show, and for another few hours after that. I posted the link earlier in the chat. I will before the post-game show. We got 2 jerseys head-to-head, Vancouver Millionaires and the Minnesota Wild reverse retro jerseys.
Love it. Vancouver Canucks in the offensive zone. Elias Pettersson picking it up. I mean, I know he didn't score on that power play goal, but Elias Pettersson, he's in the plays contributing. He got a few shots on net, and he did get the puck to Alex Chason, which is good to see, because we were discussing his struggles early on in this stream.
Yeah, I mean, as early as the first period, we were like, we didn't see him. The second period, as soon as that power play started, it was like, oh man, he wants to score.
Yeah, absolutely.
And credit to him, he's actually making some noise out there, and he's trying. Because one thing, it's like he had early comparisons, and I don't think anyone's going to be a Pavel Datsyuk, but that's kind of what his game was compared to. And what made him comparable to Datsyuk is he fought for the puck. He almost demanded it and made it so away from the puck. When you're Datsyuk, you got to play like Datsyuk away from the puck too. And Pettersson wasn't bringing that as of late. Though it's a little bit more geared to offense in this game, he's starting to bring that vibe again from what I've seen. And the Minnesota Wild doing it by committee. I mean, the young guy who started in his first game with the Wild this season, gets to the goal. Zuccarello, who's been quiet in the goal column as of late, gets the goal. And then Jonas Brodin, who typically doesn't score, scores the goal as well. So we're not seeing it from Fiala, we're not seeing it from Kaprizov, and I've been critical of them and in our pregame show and throughout this stream, but the Wild are contributing, and they're a depth team, so they're playing to their strength, Dylan.
No, I think that's what makes a good team, right? When your top players aren't necessarily playing good, but you can still find a way to win. That shows that you have some depth. That shows that your depth guys can actually contribute offensively when needed. So I think that says a lot about a team, and it looks like a 3-on-2 coming here for the Minnesota Wild.
It's a very flying V-esque.
Broken up by Tyler Myers there, and the Canucks coming the other way with Tanner Pearson. Myers with a shot and a great save by Cam Talbot. Talbot's having a great game.
Yeah, that was that's been the storyline of this game, man. Just back and forth, back and forth. It's not a cop out phrase. It really is.
No,
like
I mean,
with limited whistles in between the flow, and that's what I love. I love a hockey game with flow. You can't ask for anything more.
No, exactly. And especially when you're live streaming because you don't want to go for 4 hours.
Could you imagine? Well, and just like, okay, and now we have another penalty or the coach is challenging. Like, I'm glad we have no goddamn coach's challenge.
No, I know. And I mean, folks, we all love hockey, but like we've all watched those games, right? Where it seems like every minute there's an offside, a puck goes out of play, there's whatever happens. It can get frustrating. But this is, like you said, Isha, this has been a great game, great flow. I don't think one team has had, the momentum for more than 5 minutes. I feel like it's changed quite a bit in this game. And I feel like that just brings the entertainment level just to another level.
Yeah, I saw Jordan Greenwood. The most noticeable thing he's done in this game moments ago was pull off his best Garland impression and do a little back check there.
Oh, there you go. I like the back hit. Reverse hit. Sorry.
Reverse hit. I keep calling it the back check, but there is a hockey term. Oh, and like actually you had another good hit moments ago there as well. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Canucks
sorry, dude. I'm about 15 seconds behind everyone watching on cable right now. So
we should have mentioned that earlier in the stream. Looks like Niels Hoglander breaking up in the offensive zone. I was just going to mention the Canucks having a bit of a tough time getting the puck out of their zone. Some pressure from the Minnesota Wild forecheck was messing them up a little bit. But they did manage to get it out of the zone. Rodsy Plays saying, so Minnesota won? No, there's still 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third period in this game. 3-1 so far for the Minnesota Wild.
There you go. And despite the Vancouver Canucks not getting a lot of shots on net, I mean, the Wild aren't peppering them at all. They're playing a little bit more safe, as Dylan highlighted, really trying to shut things down in the neutral zone and not allowing the Vancouver Canucks to even vacate their zone as well. 27 shots to 21 in favor of the Minnesota Wild.
There we have it. Some more action in the Vancouver Canucks zone. Connor Garland is out there. I like, whenever I see Connor Garland out there, I like it. I like this line. Maybe not Tanner Pearson, like we mentioned before, but he brings some energy to that line. And Bo Horvat always brings the energy.
Horvat, Dylan needed someone. I'm so glad they got him Connor Garland and not just said, oh, well, you got Pearson for 3 more years.
Or, because we've seen like the guys that they've put with Horvat, a Josh Levo, like that's just like the typical guy they put with them. Not saying that Josh Levo is a bad player, but like they keep putting like the 14 goal scorer with him. Like, no, you need someone a bit
13
better.
Career goal scorer with him.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's a slap in the face. The captain deserves better.
Yeah, no, I agree.
As I share our stream to the last of the Facebook groups that I'm in here.
Yeah, just looking at, again, a nice pan shot of the crowd at Rogers Arena, seeing a full crowd. Amazing, seeing all those Vancouver Canucks jerseys. I love it.
I can't wait to get there. It would have been nice. Yeah. It would have been nice tonight, against the Minnesota Wild. I'd be the only person there I guess not the only person, as we saw a North Stars, but I'd probably be the only Wild reverse retro. But instead, we get to hang out with all you beautiful people here, some of which on the big screen here on this THPN Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks watch along. Again, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the videos. We have a ton of great contributors and talent here on the Hockey Podcast Network, and we have a ton more live streams scheduled and a ton of great content coming out all season. We are the Hockey Podcast Network, so go check us out, thehockeypodcastnetwork.com. We have a podcast covering every team in the National Hockey League and some. Every niche in hockey is covered. Go check us out. And again, big shout out to our friends at DraftKings, the leader in daily fantasy sports and sportsbook. Use promo code THPN upon sign up for a bonus. And if you're a regular user, plug that promo code in for a weekly deal.
So stupid offers from DraftKings. I mean, in the last few weeks, there's been offers where it's like
stupid good offers, by the way, folks.
No, stupid good. Like you put in $1 on any NFL team, and if any team scores a point, you win $100 back. Like, it's contests like that that are basically like free $100 to play with DraftKings. So it's awesome. Use promo code THPN when you sign up with DraftKings to get some of those great offers.
Absolutely. Oh man, what I love about this game of hockey, especially the coverage, sports, and I give them a lot of flack, but they do a good job. Is they nail the shots of just like the crazy, junior B, college level, dare I say even like CHL level local fans. We just saw one there on the Vancouver
Yeah,
Canucks feed,
yeah,
and those are just the best. Like, and Dylan and I have recently gone back. We've been able to go back into hockey barns, varsity hockey out here on the West Coast, as well as junior hockey. And there's just a special feel around junior hockey and just that very tight knit local hockey community. The super fans are second to none, and I love hanging out with them.
yeah. No, the super fans are great because some of them they're not typically allowed to or haven't felt comfortable showing their true selves, but they go to these games and they're wild. They're partying like animals basically at these games. It's awesome to see. And yeah, I agree with you, Isha. There's just something special about the hockey culture in that sense. Close play there.
Yeah,
Niels
Talbot didn't know
Hoglander,
where it was.
yeah, Niels Hoglander right on the doorstep of Camp Talbot, ready for a goal there. A little bit of a tussle here. It's more of a wrestling match. Someone's in the net though. Rodsy plays saying, "Do we get to watch the whole video and scores after?" Yeah. So typically, there's two highlight packages that come out after a game. One's around like what would you say, Isha, 5-6 minutes, and the other's around 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean the long form ones sometimes are even up to 15 minutes. So
Right.
you get a very condensed, just like highlights, usually goals, assists, any hits or like that. And then you get extended ones as well shortly after, and they're all on YouTube. So go check them out.
Yep, there you go. There you go. So 7 minutes left here in the game. The Vancouver Canucks have only put up 3 more shots since we last mentioned it. They're going to have to put some pressure on here. They need a goal. They need a goal in the next 2-3 minutes if they're going to have any chance of tying up this game and have any chance of pulling Thatcher Demko to get that extra skater out there.
Yeah, and early after the Minnesota Wild scored, we saw the Vancouver Canucks like really go nuts, right? They put the pedal to the metal, but they weren't able to get rewarded, and now none of the shots are really going on net.
No, they're not. And like I said, I mean, not to say he's had a bad game, but like Elias Pettersson there, that last play, did that look like the Elias Pettersson that we know? It just didn't seem quite right. There's something about his game that's slightly off, and maybe he's just kind of frustrated right now. It could be a lot of different things. But right now, for the Vancouver Canucks, I think that's the problem. Is like their top end talent, their high end guys aren't necessarily their best players right now, right?
Oh, agreed. And I mean, JT Miller, I saw him; he was pretty active in the first period. I've liked the line with Besser and him, and Podkolzin too. But yeah, there's not really the stars honestly, other than Besser and Demko, the stars aren't really shining for the Vancouver Canucks tonight.
No, I agree. And you can only put so much on, new guys and new young guys. You can only put so much on Connor Garland and Pod Colson and players like that. Our main staples have to pick it up here. And like I said, like folks, I'm not trying to rip on the Canucks. I've said multiple times, I'm preaching patience here. I don't think that there's much to panic about, but it's like you do got to get out of the slump at some point. So let's hope that it's sooner than later.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, we only can say, oh, it's early in the season for so long, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's about 10 games. 10 games, and it's like, okay, you have a sample size, I mean, shoot, man, some of our varsity leagues out here are like 15 games, but no, but you know what I mean. At the NHL level, like it's like, okay, that's enough time for the team to mesh and for some of the players who are going to be rotated in because of injury to play at least a game.
For me, I'd honestly say it's a little bit longer for me. And
Okay.
the reason is, I mean, not that this is the reason, but it's something to consider and something to factor. Look at the St. Louis Blues when they won the Stanley Cup. at Christmas time, they were at the very bottom of the league. And you would say, at Christmas time, you should be able to judge a team for what they are. But that team ended up winning the Stanley Cup at the end of the season. So I just think it's, yes, generally ballpark figure. I'm going to say like 15 to 20 games is really when you know what a team is. I think 10 games in, I think you know what to expect from a team throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, fair argument. The Blues, that was just magical though. I don't.
That's why I say that's not like a determining factor for me
Yeah.
whatsoever. But I mean, it's happened with less, in less spectacular fashion than the Minnesota Wild did. So it's something to consider.
No, that's true. That's true. As we're in commercial break for this game, I imagine Travis Green is just telling the boys like play with urgency at this point. Start just maybe even cheating a little bit just to drive offense, because the Minnesota Wild have shown the Vancouver Canucks in this period that they're shutting it down after getting this goal. Like they've been still a little bit dangerous. Like we've seen a little flurries, especially like kind of on turnovers and being able to quickly recuperate, and there hasn't been a lot of battles in the neutral zone, so being able to just go back and forth really real quick back to the offensive zone. But for the most part, the Wild are playing tight hockey now here, trying to keep the distance, and they're doing a bang up job of it against the Vancouver Canucks. So the Canucks can't just keep doing the same thing here. They're going to have to cheat a little bit, or Travis Green's going to have to change up the lines or something here, because what they've been doing for most of this third period, just to try to get another goal, to get that momentum to even try to tie the game, well, time's running out.
Time is running out. And, Isha, we've talked about how the Minnesota Wild are, a different team now than what you're used to. But at the end of the day, they still have a really good defense. And a team like the Minnesota Wild at this point of the game, 5 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third period with a 2-goal lead, they can just shut it down. They could shut it right down. And that's when you really have to get creative. And to your point, you might have to cheat a little bit and you might get burned. But at this point, I don't think you have any other options. You're not going to score 2 goals here late in the third period by playing safe, because that's exactly what the Minnesota Wild are doing.
Yeah, and Talbot's just locked in as well, right? So
He
that's
is
another
locked
factor.
in. Yeah.
I don't know what Cheech and Shorehouse are saying about Baumgartner's suit, but they're saying something because the camera was on him for way too long there.
Oh, totally. And it's not the first time either. So yeah.
Oh, I love it. Again, big shout out to everybody watching, hanging out with us throughout this entire evening in this period. We really appreciate it. The comments, they drive the show. So chime in on YouTube in our comment section here. Thanks to everybody who has been sharing your thoughts on the game, asking us questions. Hell, we even educated people on the game of hockey. Shout out our boy Rodsy. Rodsy plays. Unbelievable. I'm out of beer. My water bottle is almost,
I know. I'm out
here.
of water almost too. The mouth is starting to get a little dry here.
I'm on my last cookie, but we have our post-game show coming up in a few minutes here, assuming the Vancouver Canucks don't tie this game up and we see some overtime hockey, which as a hockey fan and someone who has, I'm watching this game through Minnesota Wild perspective. Like I told you, Dylan, it's a win-win. The Wild win, that's great. I got something to talk about in the Soda Pod. I get to be happy on the Soda Pod. The Canucks win. Well, that's my hometown team, right? So that's okay. But it's gonna be a fun post game show too. And again, just shout out to everyone who's joined us here tonight.
Yeah, no, Isha, this is the first watch along that we've done, full watch along. It's been a lot of fun. Can't wait to do this again. It was just perfect, me doing the BC hockey podcast, and you helped me with that as well. And then you doing the Soda Pod, and this game, the Vancouver Canucks and Minnesota Wild show up, just seemed natural. But we're gonna do more of these throughout the season.
Home opener for the Vancouver Canucks, the Minnesota Wild on a Tuesday. And they still packed Rogers Arena. So there you go. Credit to the Vancouver Canucks fans.
And they got the wave going, the infamous wave going throughout the crowd. I love it.
What's your take on the wave? Because I feel like, the young folk are very against it. I'm sure Hoppy does not like the wave either. I don't know if
I don't know. I'm fine with the wave. What's wrong? Like, it looks kind of cool. And like, what's wrong with like having a little bit of fun, for Christ's sake? What, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's your thought on it? Oh, what a goal by Bo Horvat. Coming
There
in with the
you go.
backhand goal, top shelf.
So Horvat, wow, that was textbook Horvat, Dylan.
In Horvatian fashion.
And I mean, for those Minnesota Wild viewers, I mean, explain the Horvatian fashion because it happens quick.
Well, I mean, it's just he drives the net with such power, and sometimes it's just like the snap of a finger, and Bo Horvat's gone, and that's what we saw here. Here we go. He gets the puck right at the blue line, drives the net, powerful. Yeah, I love it. Backhand, top shelf. Where mom keeps the peanut butter.
Yeah, man, just a quick drive to the front of the net. That's Bo Horvat, and he's got a good backhand too. Ryan Chambers, wow, what a shot! Yeah, indeed.
Sodapod saying indifferent to the wave in the crowd. By the way,
a little surprised that there's not a heavier opinion there, but okay. I dig it, Dylan. I think it's part of the sports fan experience. You know,
exactly. No,
you go to a baseball game, you expect a hot dog. You go to a Vancouver Canucks game or an NHL game, you expect the wave, especially in a packed house. And it's as corny as this sounds, and in these COVID times, it's a very small form of human connection. Where you all just kind of look at each other, you know what you're doing, and you have to kind of do it in unison and be somewhat coordinated. So I dig it.
And, you know, like, come on, like kids, we always like, we sit here and analyze the game like this, like, but kids still go to these games. Kids still enjoy this. This is a product for the younger generation as well. So, I mean, you know, you got to imagine there's some more, you know, having something that connects you, like you said, I think changes a lot of the experience for young people going to games. Maybe like kids in their teenage years might hate this, but I'm talking about the younger kids.
Yeah, so a three goal game for the Minnesota Wild, a 3-2 game, a 1-goal difference now. I mean, the Vancouver Canucks, this is a change in momentum for the better for them as they seem to be buzzing a little bit more. They're moving their feet a little bit quicker now in the final 3 minutes of this period. The Wild, for the most part, have done a great job of tightening things up and making it hard for them to get those chances. But I mean, Bo Horvat, the bullet, coming out and charging the net with a great goal.
Scramble in front of the net. Almost 4-2 for the Minnesota Wild. Sorry to cut you off.
No, Demko starfish there on the ice.
Starfish just able to get it with the blocker hand and stop the puck there. Wow, that could be a changing moment in this game if the Vancouver Canucks can tie it up.
Demko's played very well this game. He's played very, very well this game. It's a good goalie battle head to head.
So we're seeing a replay of it now. Yeah, Demko just desperation, doing everything he can. I love it. Comment from Sean Cosgrove says, nice goal. Honest question. He runs into the goalie after the puck enters the net. If he shoots that over the crossbar, do they call it interference? The rule as called makes no sense to me.
That's a great point.
Yes,
I think they would actually, which again makes no sense.
Yeah, you know, it's something I haven't really thought about, Sean, but it's a great point. Like, what's the difference? Is it just the fact that the play's dead after the puck goes in the net? So it's like, it's kind of like there's no point after that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. But
you just didn't know if it was the right word. You're like, I'm not going to say moot on the live stream.
No, I'm like, say I'm 3 hours into this fucking thing. I don't know if it's the right word. But yeah, great question. Something I got to put some more thought into because, you know, what is the difference? I don't know. I don't know what the difference is.
Kaprizov laid the body on Burrows in that last play. It's so weird just saying Burrows.
I know.
I mean, and their name is spelled so differently.
I know. It's crazy.
There's still a burr there, but that's about it.
Yeah, and he's he's wearing number 44 as well. So you know, you think Todd Bertuzzi's skating out there.
It's weird. It's a weird one, but a great question, Sean.
Excellent question.
It's funny. We have someone commenting on the poll question on Twitter, and we'll get into it more in the post game show. I mean, we won't be on for too long, 10, 15 minutes after the game, wrapping things up, thanking all of you guys, plugging away the Hockey Podcast Network, and potentially giving away this hat. I have to double check the entries again. But anyways, Snowstar 444. Should have just said 444. The Wild have the best jerseys in the league. I went and looked at this person. I've seen them comment this before, Dylan. They are from British Columbia.
Oh,
So
wow.
this is a British Columbia person who says that the Wild have the
Big
best
fan
jerseys
of
in
the
the league.
Man Bear Pig. Big Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig fan, yeah, for sure.
I hope Hoppy likes that one.
The Wild logo is pretty cool, and I personally like the jerseys, but they're not best in the league. We actually talked about this on the Soda Pod recently, or
Yeah,
was it
I don't know.
last live stream? I don't know.
I don't think I would say best in the league. I think they're good jerseys. It took me a while when I was younger to realize what the actual logo was. It took me quite a few years. So I don't know if I would call it the best jersey just for that simple fact that there are so many people that it takes a while to understand what the jersey is.
It's that wild, Dylan.
It's that wild. It's yeah, there you go.
Hoppy Man Bear Pig.
Love it. Love it. Alyssa saying, damn, it's 2-3. Shake my damn head. I have a feeling she lost the hat contest, Isha.
Yes.
Sean Cosgrove saying Hoppy says he doesn't like any of the Wild jerseys. Does he just not like the colors because they're a copy of the Habs, right?
Oh man. I want under 6, says Roberto. Hey, thanks for joining the stream there, Roberto.
Cheers, Roberto.
Under 6 goals in total? I guess that's what you're saying, because if Vancouver scores one more, then there'll be a 6-goal total game. I don't think the Wild again 3 more goals. So
no, I don't think so. I mean, here we go, folks. There's a minute 10 left in the third period. Thatcher Demko looks like he's skating off the ice, and then we have a whistle. Just as Thatcher Demko starts making his way.
Come on, boys.
Yeah. So a minute and 8 seconds. Roberto saying thanks, guys. No,
Roberto. Thank you, Roberto, for joining us here on the Hockey Podcast Network's Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks Watchalong.
Sean Cosgrove saying life's too short to bet the under.
Oh, absolutely. Always bet the over. Always bet that Canada's going to beat the US in the World Juniors too.
Sure. But if you do it, use DraftKings and use promo code THPN.
And also use Canadian dollars. But anyways.
That's totally up to you. I don't care if you use Canadian dollars or not. I really don't.
Oh, man. Yeah, timeouts. Here we go. Dragging it out.
Yeah. So we have a minute and 8 seconds left in the third period. Shots for the Minnesota Wild 30, shots for the Vancouver Canucks 24. So they picked it up a little bit offensively, the Vancouver Canucks, in the last 10 minutes or so in this period, picking up some shots. Let's see if they have the urgency here. There's not a lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, let's see if Pettersson, brings that fire we saw in the power play into his shift here, because I imagine he's going to get one. Besser's been good all game. Horvat had that goal and burst of speed moments ago. So yeah, this is it, the final drive for the Vancouver Canucks. Let's see if the Minnesota Wild can do what they've been doing best in locking it up. I mean, Demko's going to try to get that puck out of here as soon as possible. Yeah,
Demko's off. Quinn Hughes skating back towards the net, behind the net. Always a little bit of a risky move. If anyone's going to do it, I trust Quinn Hughes. Fires the puck up in the zone. See if they can get set up. The Vancouver Canucks looks like they're setting up right now with Quinn Hughes as the quarterback, and Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the back end too.
Dangerous.
Very dangerous combo.
That's very dangerous, because Quinn Hughes has a shot, despite what people think. He's got a hell of a shot.
He does. It's it's an accurate shot. Maybe he's not going to win any contests or any competitions for the hardest shot in the league, but he can get the puck on the net.
Yeah, something we thought Troy Stecher could do when he was with the Vancouver Canucks, and then once the league figured him out, that was that.
That was that. Yeah.
Hey, they're applying pressure.
Roberto saying, guys, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you, Roberto.
Oh.
You're an absolute beauty.
You're an absolute beauty, Roberto.
And there we go. That's the game. The Minnesota Wild taking this one 3-2.
What a game it was. Not a high-scoring game, which, again, if you're doing a live stream and watch along, that sometimes sucks. But given the nature of this game, Dylan, this was an awesome one to sit here and talk about and cover and hang out with all these great people.
No, super exciting. And, I love close games like this because Honestly, we didn't really get to shit on one team or the other. I mean, both
No.
teams played fairly well. Both teams had, moments in the game where they were the superior team. Like I said before, great defensive hockey, but also a lot of speed. So if you can add those elements to a game, I think that's perfect. And I think that's what we saw here in this Vancouver Canucks and Minnesota Wild game.
And we will take a quick short break and hear from our sponsor again, and then have a quick post-game show. We're not going to be too long here, 10, 15 minutes wrapping up the show. We'll talk about that third period. We'll talk about any highlights of the game. We'll take your comments, your questions, your notes, as we have been throughout this entire stream before we sign off this evening. So again, on the other side, we'll wrap up the poll question. We will review the contest entries, and we'll wrap up this Minnesota Wild win as they spoil the Vancouver Canucks home opener. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in to the Minnesota Wild Vancouver Canucks THPN Watchalong. We'll see you on the other side for our small post-game show. Oh man, you see these comments here, Dylan? These are some fighting words.
They're
fighting words from Ian.
I know which one you're talking about. Ian saying, "Wow, these Canucks announcers are terrible. Don't you ever talk about John Shorthouse like that again." John Shorthouse is a legend in the Vancouver market, and John Garrett, I mean, I can't say enough good things about him. So I think we disagree on that one.
Yeah, and I mean, every hit was not a penalty,
I mean, to be fair, I wasn't really listening to them. I was more concerned on this stream. But typically, I am a big fan of John Shorthouse and John Garrett on the Vancouver Canucks podcast.
As much as I love Walls and Carter, like LaPanta's he's a legend, but like, come on now, you're gonna put those guys up against Shorty and
it's a tough look. Thank you for tuning in though.
Yeah, I mean, we appreciate the comment nonetheless.
Yeah, no, hey, I mean, I like it. I like hearing other perspectives, right? So it is interesting. And play-by-play guys, announcers, that's always a tough one. Yeah, there's no way to really judge it.
Everyone has their preference too. I mean, there are some ways to judge it, but let's
not get into that.
Let's just keep it at that. Welcome to the post-game show. Now, we're not going to go too much later. We've been on here for 3+ hours now. An exciting game, Dylan. An exciting game. Before we talk about our main takeaways from that third period and just the game at large, this Minnesota Wild's 3-2 win against the Vancouver Canucks, spoiling the Vancouver Canucks home opener at Rogers Arena. I want to quickly run down our poll question. It's going to go for the rest of the night, but we will run it down right now and see if there's any final votes during this segment, and then we'll tally up and reveal the final score before we sign off here. But again, the poll question here, and I'll throw the link in the chat momentarily. Who has the better jersey? What is the better jersey? The Vancouver Millionaires or the Minnesota Wild reverse retro? Again, it's in the chat. You can scroll up. I'll shoot the link in here in just a second. You can also go on Twitter. It's pinned to my page at VI Sports Talk. It's been a tight race throughout the evening, reflection of the game itself on the ice. So appreciate your participation in that. Shane commenting saying, I had the right score, wrong team. Yeah, you're right. Sean Crossgrove, any relations to the Cash Money Millionaires?
Am I missing a reference here or something? I don't know. I feel like I am.
Yeah, I'm missing it too, Sean. I'm sorry. We're not as smart as Hoppy, apparently. We're not as quick-witted. We don't get all your amazing comments here. Or maybe it's an American thing.
Sean, you're a beauty though. Thanks for tuning in throughout the whole thing, man.
Yeah, thanks. No, Sean's awesome. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we ran down the poll question. I'll comment it here in a second. Let me review the score here. Okay, we had Penn with the 4-1. We had Marat's 10 live, 1-3 wild. And Elise 2-1 wild, Shane 3-2 Canucks, and Alyssa 5-1 wild. So no winners on the score prediction, but so I guess the hat is still up for grabs.
That's we're gonna keep the hat around. Yeah, for the next stream, we'll do the same thing, and I think we'll get more people interested in the comments or in the contest for the next one.
20 miles, 20 smiles, baby.
Love it.
All right, Dylan, what are your takeaways from this third period and the game at large?
So, I mean, I know I mentioned in the last period, but I mean, the defense for the Vancouver Canucks, they keep giving up these good opportunities against teams. And I feel like the Minnesota Wild, yes, they will jump on those opportunities, but I mean, they're not the best at doing it. So if you're giving up these opportunities against a team like the Minnesota Wild, when you play against a team like the Edmonton Oilers with a Connor McDavid and you're giving up these opportunities, I think you're going to be looking at a game that's, a 5-1 loss rather than a 3-2 loss. I will say, though, that I did enjoy the later power plays for the Vancouver Canucks. I felt like they put a lot of pressure. I felt like Elias Pettersson was really getting into his groove. Didn't score a goal, but definitely contributed on that one power play goal. And how about Alex Chason? It looks like that guy has found a spot on the Vancouver Canucks.
A specialist both on the penalty kill and parked in front of the power play. Zipper just saw you on Twitter, #Canucks. I'll watch. Hey, thanks for joining us in the post-game show. We've been on since the pre-game show, since before this game, and have been sitting here watching this game with amazing Wild and Canucks fans. So Zipper, excited for you to join us in the post-game show. We are wrapping things up. I'm not going to lie. We're giving kind of our summary and just key points of the game here. We'll run down the poll question one last time. But again, thanks for jumping in the comments regardless, my man. I'm actually throwing a poll question link in. If you did not see it on Twitter, Zipper, I highly recommend that you vote on it here.
There you go.
My main takeaways from the third period. I mean, Bo Horvat, what a goal. Very, what did you say? Very Horvat-esque, Horvatian goal.
In Horvatian style, I think. Horvatian fashion, yeah.
And that's very Don Taylor-esque in the way that you...
and we're the Donnie and Dolly hat, so,
Yeah, there you go. There you go. The Wild locking it up in the third. They did a great job of that. I know the Vancouver Canucks scored late. That Horvat goal. But for the most part, the Wild played solid defensive hockey and were still able to get more shots on net than the Vancouver Canucks in that third period. And Brock Besser, I thought overall, playing his, quote unquote childhood team, the team that he rooted for prior to probably getting drafted in the Minnesota Wild, he, for some reason, he just plays well against the Wild every time, whether in Minnesota or when they visit Vancouver. And I felt like he was one of the Vancouver Canucks' best players tonight. So those were my third period takeaways. Overall, I thought this game was just a tightly contested bout, but not boring. Both of these teams attacked. Both of these teams had great opportunities, and credit to both of the goalies. Demko played lights out. Talbot played lights out. So a really fun game to watch, a really fun game to live stream and watch alongside all of these great people who've been in and out of the stream. And there's still 13 of you here, so we really appreciate that.
Love it. Love it. And like you said, Isha, just like a great brand of hockey. Like this is, it's not the old school kind of hockey that we're used to seeing, but like if this is what the NHL is moving forward, I'm more than happy.
Yeah, man. Me too. Anything else you want to add here, Dylan, before we quickly run down the poll question?
One more comment. Zipper saying, I voted millionaires, but I'm 60. So, I mean, hey,
Zipper, I love it. Yeah,
I'm,
isn't this beautiful, Zipper?
I love it.
Look at
I
that.
absolutely love it. And by the way, Zipper, I have a millionaire's hat with Thatcher Demko and Brock Besser's signature. So there you go.
Tune in next time, Zipper, and we'll show you
I will
that
show
bad
it.
boy.
I will show it off. The one thing I wanted to bring up, and you actually kind of spurred my memory there when you're talking about Brock Besser, is that line of Miller, Besser, and Podkolzin actually looked pretty good. I hope that Travis Green will continue and try out that line moving forward, because I feel like if you give them a few days or a few games together, I feel like they could produce some offense for you.
Yeah, and I hope Podkolzin gets some more rope, some more leash.
Exactly. That's basically what I'm asking for here.
Because he's not doing anything wrong. He's
not wowing anybody.
He's got the training wheels on. This is the National Hockey League. Not everyone can be a Nils Höglander.
Exactly.
Or, in fairness to him, the University of North Dakota graduate Troy Stetcher, he came in lights out for the Vancouver Canucks in his time. Rodsy Plays is still with us, Dylan. Fire this comment up. I wanted Van to win, but it's fair. Not a hater. Rodsy, you are a goddamn beauty. Join us back on the live stream anytime. Make sure to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications so you know when we are back on. Okay, to close out the poll question here, Dylan, a decent amount of votes, nothing out of this world, but enough to give like a definitive answer from those watching and tuning in tonight. 54% for the Wild Reverse Retro. So again, it was up and down. At one point, it was only separated by like 2 or 3%. But for the most part throughout this watch along, the Wild Reverse Retro remained on top. I think the Millionaires took it for like 10-15 minutes. But yeah, so a nice fair bout. We'll have to throw in some other poll questions when we do more of these, eh?
We definitely have to. And yeah, it is interesting. Very fair bout, kind of like the game that we saw on the ice. I mean, it's pretty damn even between those two teams. So I'm excited to see more Vancouver Canucks and Minnesota Wild games moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my voice is shot, Dylan. I'm starting to come down from that that hockey high, right? When you're seeing a great game and you're buzzing, and again, from my perspective, I cover the Minnesota Wild. I do a podcast on them, and I'm also from the west coast of Canada, so I love me some Vancouver Canucks. So this was just an amazing and fun night. Oh, Rohan coming in hot to end the stream.
Ooh,
Travis Green is trash. Tell me why quickly. We got a little bit more time. Tell me why. Keep me on here a little bit longer.
Zipper saying Old P&E used to have a great sports museum with great millionaires.
Yes,
displayed.
They did. Awesome. They did. I went to an exhibit. Now I'm not 60, Zipper, as you can see. But man, I want to say in like 2004, 2005, there was some sort of hockey exhibit there, and it did feature a lot of millionaire stuff because it was the first time that I really remember. Oh yeah, like that logo was implemented.
He keeps changing the rotations.
Dylan, that's something you commented on earlier in the stream, though. Does that make him a trash coach?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think so, but I do get the frustration, you know, because like you heard me talking 20 minutes ago. I was saying that I like Podkolzin with Besser and Miller, but I'm also scared that next game he's just going to throw that out and try something else.
Well, and look at Rohan's next comment. That I'd say I agree with this comment to a T. As
he has no patience and doesn't let the lines build chemistry.
I can agree. Yeah, I can agree. But once he sees that chemistry, I feel like he gives them a chance. But no, Rohan, 100% fair comment. And we were talking a little bit about that earlier in the stream as well. Rodsy Plays, I have a question for both of you. Who's your favorite NHL person on Vancouver? Let's give him bang for his buck as we've done all night. Dylan, let's give him past and present.
Oh, okay. Present might be a bit tougher. I'm just gonna I'm going to say Bo Horvat. No, you know what? I'm going Quinn Hughes. He's just such a dynamic player. Never seen a talent like this on the back end for the Vancouver Canucks. So Quinn Hughes for present and all time. I mean, it's tough. I mean, I got the Bure shirt behind me. I mean, he's definitely up there. I'm just going to go for the package deal. I'm going to go with the Sedins. Like, you just kind of have to.
Love it, love it. I also was gonna pick Quinn Hughes as current because my boy Jay Beagle is no longer with the team. Love me some Jay Beagle, ECHL champion, AHL champion, Stanley Cup champion. But anyways, no, Quinn Hughes, you said it. They're one of the best skaters I've ever seen. The best skater next to Savard that I've ever seen play in the National Hockey League. So I'd have to say Quinn Hughes is current. Past, oh man, that's hard. That is hard.
Zipper saying Trevor Linden. That's a good one. Also saying Bo Horvat. I was gonna say Bo Horvat Zipper, but
similar demeanors.
Yeah.
Very
I feel
much
like Bo Horvat has a little more talent than Trevor Linden, in my opinion. But yes, very similar captains.
Hey, but Linden went further in the playoffs.
Hey,
so there it is. I still have to give my pass pick. I'm going to go a little off the beaten path here, and I think, Zipper, you'll appreciate this, but Alexander Mogilny, he wasn't with the Canucks for very long, but boy, did he make an impact when he was here. That contract year was insane.
Interesting choice. And, a lot of people forget that Alex McGillney played for the Vancouver Canucks and put up some insane numbers.
Or played at all because he keeps getting snubbed from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, true. So, interesting one there, Isha. I like it.
Rohan saying Pedersen seems so much slower. Yeah, there's something off. And you know what, man? He didn't have a training camp with the team. And I know he's young. He's only 22 years old, but that could be a factor.
Yeah,
could be a factor. He was partying in Michigan. Let's be real.
Raji Plays saying, thanks for answering my questions. I also heard the Flyers are versing Vancouver on the 28th. And I have to look at the schedule. I actually don't know.
I mean, you're probably right if you looked at the schedule. Flyers, they're a wild card team this year. I don't mean they're like a wild card spot team in the standings, and Rodzi has no idea what we're talking about because he doesn't follow the NHL there. But they're
a team where you literally don't know what they are.
Dude, Michel Therrien is still behind the bench, so I have no idea what to think.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh man, well the comments heating up right before we were gonna wrap things up. So I love it. I mean, if you guys have any more comments for us, like we said throughout the stream, the comments drive the stream, and this watch along. When they start to dry up, we'll begin to sign off. We've already gone over the poll questions. So, here we go. Zipper's shooting us with another one. Best ever Canuck. That would be Pavel. His speed was insane, different level. Honestly, Zipper, the only player who compares to a Pavel Bure is Connor McDavid.
Yeah.
And it's true. And true. That's filled with some Vancouver bias. I mean, every Minnesota Wild, viewer is gone now.
Connor McDavid is the better player, no doubt. But if you're comparing style, there's only one comparison, in my opinion.
No one else played like Connor McDavid other than Pavel Bure. No one played like Pavel Bure other than Connor McDavid.
No, I mean, there's going to be some people commenting some names, and you might be right, but he's definitely a good comparison for Connor McDavid. So I don't want Isha to get any flack for that one.
Hey, Zipper agrees, so we're gravy train. Where Zipper may disagree is I think Lemieux is a better player than Gretzky, but that's for another stream.
All right. Yeah, we're 3 hours and 20 minutes into this one, Isha. We don't need another fucking 2 hours.
Well, I know, because I don't want to rally up Hoppy anymore.
Rohan saying, do you think Hamnick will make an impact when he comes back? Yes, I do. In the sense that he's a steady defenseman, and if that's an impact, then yes, he will make an impact.
Yeah, I was gonna say define impact. Like he'll help. I don't mind seeing Rathbone develop in the NHL. I don't. He's gonna make mistakes like he did today, which cost them a goal. But overall, I'm kind of indifferent. I think he'll fill a void, sure, but I wouldn't mind seeing Rathbone play.
No, absolutely. Thanks for you guys answering the questions. I have to go to sleep now. Bye. I hope you have a great night.
Rodsy Plays, you're a goddamn beauty. Join us anytime, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you for staying up and watching the stream with us, watching the game. We really appreciate it. Zipper saying, no, Mario is more talented. Saw both many a night season 85 to 95. So, That's
The
hey,
golden
lucky
age,
guy there,
Zipper,
right?
the golden age
Yeah, no,
of
that's
NHL.
incredible,
That's
incredible.
absolutely incredible. I mean, very different players, right? I always say
Yeah,
that, like Lemieux, if you look at it from like a comparison to chess, like Lemieux's the queen, dominates every player on, every piece on the board. Gretzky was the person playing chess. Very different roles, but two
yeah.
key pieces to winning the game and being dominant in the game. No, very little people win early in a chess game without their queen. You can't play the chess game without the chess master. I don't know. It's 3 hours in.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going that direction with that.
I'm trying.
That was a hell of a save, bud. Rohan commenting, do you think Hamnick is an upgrade on Burrows? I mean, he's veteran presence. I think if you look at the track record, yes, you could say he's probably an upgrade on Burrows.
Not in the hearts of Canucks Twitter, though. Not that we care here about Canucks Twitter too much.
Section P, row 19B, seat 11 set across from Bruce Allen. I could write a book.
Zipper.
Yeah,
right,
I know.
Please do.
I know.
I'll read it.
Zipper's got some stories. And Zipper, anytime that we come on and do a stream, please jump on and feed us some more stories.
Zipper, and this is a great segue to help close out the show here. Please follow us on Twitter, interact with us, shoot us a DM too, because we would really like to continue to interact with you. We gotta go to bed soon here, but if you want to hear more about our takes and interact with us on a podcast, Dylan, please tell Zipper where he can find you.
Yeah, so you can probably see on the screen, you can find myself at DYL_THPN. You can also follow my podcast, the BC Hockey Podcast, and the Twitter handle is at BC Hockey Pod.
Oh yeah. I don't know how many Minnesota Wild fans are still in this watch along. And again, we had so many. We had a mixed bag here.
We had a lot of Wild fans.
We had Wild fans, Canucks fans, non-hockey fans, just general people perusing around YouTube. We absolutely love it. If anyone wants to check out my work, I do contribute. I am a contributor on the BC Hockey Podcast. I also co-host the Soda Pod, which is an all hockey and craft beer podcast. The focus is on the Minnesota Wild, cover prospects in Iowa and around junior hockey. We have a whole podcast dedicated to craft beer in the United States and an entire Minnesota college-based podcast, MNCAA, all on the Soda Pod feed. So go check that out. That's it, folks. I can't believe I still have a voice. Dylan, this has been so much fun. Again, subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network YouTube channel. Smash the like button on all of the videos here. Support us. Ring that notification bell to get notifications. Click it there. You'll get notifications whenever a new live stream is geared up and when a new video is posted. Like Dylan said, you can follow us on Twitter, myself at VISports.com, him at DYL_THPN, and the Hockey Podcast Network. Find us on Twitter and Facebook at HockeyPodNet. If you're a fan of any hockey team in the NHL and you want to hear a podcast about every niche in the National Hockey League and hockey abroad, find us thehockeypodcastnetwork.com. Zipper, I'm waiting for the book. Rohan, we'll see what happens with Travis Green. And for everybody else, good night. Dylan, this has been a blast. Signing off.
Oh, so much fun, man.
So much fun. Signing off, I'm Isha Dromi alongside Dylan Kaiser. This has been a watch along.
Yeah, you're doing the Soda Pod sign off here. It's kind of hilarious.
A watch along, a hybrid sign off. Yes, a watch along here on the Hockey Podcast Network's YouTube channel. Minnesota Wild versus the Vancouver Canucks. The Minnesota Wild walk away from this one a 3-2 victory, spoiling Vancouver's home opener at Rogers Arena. We'll catch you on the rebound, folks. Have a great night.